And welcome into the Wednesday edition. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Robby Stanley, Joe Rexrode, Ian Safar here with you on this Wednesday morning, presented by Green Ventures Landscaping. Property managers, if you manage it, they maintain it. Visit greenventureslandscaping.com. We are live from our Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. Joe Rexrode, happy Wednesday morning to you. Good morning. How we doing? What's going on?
Doing okay. I didn't check my headphones. Let's talk about headphones to start the show again. So these are a single, which is unfortunate, but I have these fancy ones on now.
Mm-hmm.
Are these like D Maces or something, like some special ones that someone brought in on their own?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you what happens with our headphones really ever. Don't know which are new, which are broken, how some get broken. There's a large mystery that takes place with these things.
I'm just telling you, like the sound it's almost like milk. It's so smooth. Yeah, it's nice, man. I don't know if I can go back to the other ones after listening to these.
Those were going to be Kuharsky's today, and now you've stolen them. So we're going to switch those out.
Here you go, Paul.
you have these broken ones.
Yeah, you only basically have one ear working anyway. Fine.
Ian, how we doing? What's going on?
Good morning. Doing just fine, thanks. Yeah, there was a headphone situation here on Monday. I came in our headphone jack. Someone had broken off a piece of the headphone jack, and it got stuck in the headphone. And so I had to,
They just left it there?
And they just left it there. No one said anything. No email.
That's good.
So I was like, oh, what's going on here? So luckily I was able to get that figured out before the start of the show on Monday. But yeah, doing good. How does milk sound, Joe?
It's just smooth, or honey, I feel like I'm listening to Barry White sing right now.
Mahogany.
Listen to each other, Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's good. Mahogany. Yeah.
Okay.
Sex Panther cologne, just smooth.
Yep.
Okay.
Sure. Yep. Trevor saying, what up on the text line. People trying to make that a thing again.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Well, I mean, I didn't ask you a question again for you that to be an acceptable answer. I just asked him how he was doing.
I'll have to keep that in mind. Yes. But what up, Trev?
All you got to do is say, how you doing, Joe? I'll say something stupid.
I was going, Ian.
And Ian here. And then he says, what up? There we go.
And then I'm done.
We got it.
That's all the talking you'll do today, Ian. No more. No more talking for me.
Yes, most people would prefer that probably.
No,
I don't think so.
I don't think
I think
so.
most people would probably prefer if me and Joe shut up.
Yeah, I think they want more Ian.
Yeah, I would agree. We got a lot of things happening on the program today. Paul Kuharsky from paulkuharsky.com will be with us a little bit later in the program. I don't know exactly when he's going to get here. It's kind of a mystery today, but I think it's going to be a little earlier. So we'll see.
Professor Paul, he's got a lot of stuff to do.
He does.
He's got to dress up in his little tweed jacket.
He does. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. Convocation.
Yeah.
So is that like, off to class as you go? Like what does that mean? At the beginning of a semester?
I don't know.
Convocation at the end of a semester.
I mean, I think it could be, I guess, anytime you want, right? You could have a convocation at any point.
Is he just making this up?
I don't know.
If you're listening and you either work at or are a student at or just are familiar with the workings of Belmont, let us know if Kuharsky's lying to us.
I mean, he didn't specify that it was Belmont. He could be going to a different convocation. I have no idea.
That's true, I guess. Just randomly showing up.
Hello, fellow kids.
Showing up to Ravenwood High.
Just give out speeches out there.
Yeah.
I'd like to hear a speech from Kuharsky. I think it'd be awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I'd like to sit in on his class. Maybe he'll let us do a live remote from one of his classes. Why not?
Well, maybe so.
That'd be good. Belmont, comms department as a sponsor.
George on the YouTube chat already talking about being in a car yesterday and couldn't believe that, quote, what should have been a good conversation about Bedingfield's piece on Cam, Joe completely derailed the show on not knowing what a game manager is. We're going to get into that here in just a few minutes.
That's interesting. Well, George, a lot of people disagree with you and agree with me, my friend. So I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you, buddy. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Is it a lot?
I mean, it's a few. I would say that there are more on your side, but that's not. Okay. It's not nothing.
That's fine.
I mean, we can get back.
I'm just asking. I was
Not some people tweet at me who agreed with me and stuff, and texted me, agreed with me. The text line, I think, was definitely more on your side.
Okay.
The more I think about it, though, your side is weird to me, but whatever.
I mean, again, I've said this. I've never heard of your side until yesterday.
Yeah.
Never.
I've never heard of, like, basically, like, if you're a game manager, it means you suck, and if you're a playmaker, it means you're good.
See, now you're taking it too far. Doesn't mean you suck.
Just means kind of. I mean, basically, you're saying
it just means you're not freaking Matthew Stafford and Peyton Manning. That's what it means.
Well, okay, but also, again, like, the word playmaker just means you're awesome.
Well, again, I think I demonstrated yesterday you can be a playmaker without running around. Like Matthew Stafford is a playmaker. Tom Brady, probably the greatest playmaker in the history of the game. I mean, there's plenty of ways to make plays without running around the back.
I mean, the word playmaker, sure, I mean, you can use that. But again, when you put these two words together, to me, you're talking two different styles.
We'll get into this here in just a few minutes.
That's fine.
At first, we have to yell at Roger Goodell, who is trying to ruin the NFL. So apparently, I guess he was doing an interview with who was it? Was it some German outlet that he was doing an interview with?
I think that is right.
And said, quote, "At some point, there will be NFL teams outside the USA. I have no doubt that this will happen one day," was the headline from that interview that he did. So we've talked about this before. Like, is the NFL's actual goal one day to have teams outside of the United States and to actually have a schedule that involves playing games not only outside of the United States, but, like, you know, having teams that have to travel all around and you have to go play against them outside of the United States? And apparently the answer is yes, Joe, that the goal eventually for the NFL is to have teams that are not within the continental United States. And I guess I'd love to know exactly what that means, because my mind immediately goes to Europe, because that's where they've been playing all these games. He was doing an interview with a German outlet, so Europe is kind of what comes to mind there. I mean, my initial response to this, Joe, is like, okay, if it's like Toronto, whatever. I mean, so does every other professional sports league in this country. But if you like, I'm still just trying to figure out how to put together in a football season how you're going to try to go make, like, hey, we got a game against the Munich whoever coming up next. Let's go over there. Great, let's do that. Does anybody want this?
Yeah.
Other than them, who I'm sure there's a large financial incentive attached to it.
Right. So again, yeah. So you get into, I mean, it kind of reminds me of, like, some of the college realignment stuff where it's just like, okay, let's completely abandon common sense for a few more bucks. Now, at least in college, you know, in college athletics, as much money as there is flowing, you know, obviously, like, the people who fund the programs, for example, like, they're not NFL owners who also actually make money off it, right? Like, they're just rich people that you're like, please give us money. So, I mean, at least, like, in the college landscape, you can see how it gets to stupid places, because it's, you know, because people are chasing dollars and you're funding all these programs that don't make money, et cetera, et cetera. This is just absurd. I mean, it's just unchecked greed. And yeah, like, think about the actual mechanics of a team in Europe and what that means, and how, like, you can truly affect, you know, a division race, a conference race, excuse me, seeding in the playoffs, all these things that right now, you know, it's a great system for this. You get the schedules based on your, you know, how you did you play your division, you play a particular division from the other conference, all these things. It all makes sense. You know, you start throwing in, and yes, I understand that right now we already have teams that are flying over there, but they're kind of, you know, they're rotating that around, and it's one time. If you have a team that is there, and so you have that many games to play at that team, and then again, that team also has to play half its schedule flying across the pond, you're jacking up the product. You're jacking up the football product for your greed. When again, you guys, like, how rich do you have to be? Like, how much, like, you are dominating the world, okay? And imagine if a Premier League team, like, what would they say in England? How much would they laugh? Like, oh, man, we got to have a team in New York. I mean, like, if we get a team in New York with all these teams from London, oh, my God, imagine that. Well, no, it's stupid. It makes no sense, and they'll never do it because it's freaking stupid. But, hey, NFL, do whatever you want. Everyone, we'll just sit here and clap for you.
Well, and the other part of this is beyond all that I totally agree with. I realize that people in Europe are liking football more and more, and they go watch some of these games over there. Well, Tom Brady's playing in Germany. It's like, oh, cool, let's go watch Tom Brady. Like, is there really that much of an appetite for like German people are looking around like, yes, we need to be in the NFL. Please get over here. Like, I just don't know that I buy that. And again, like, there's so many logistical challenges. To me, you're going to have to end up doing one of two things. Either you're going to have to just accept that you're flying all over the place to make this schedule work, or you're going to have to expand so much that there are teams over there that are like, you got 8 teams over there, and you're just playing over there all the time. And it's like, well, what does that mean for the rest of the league?
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's just stupid.
And the NFC Middle Europe.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's really dumb. And you're totally right. This sport has a following over there.
People like Super Bowl.
People watch Super Bowl, but that's more of the spectacle of the Super Bowl. Like this sport, American football in Germany, in England, in Italy, in France will never hold a candle to soccer. Never.
Which is fine.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's okay. It's just why this is being pushed. So it's just at some point, it's like, okay, why not? I mean, you're already getting you're about to get your 18th game here. Like, you're doing all the streaming stuff. You continue to look under rocks for money when you are printing it on your own as it is. So, like, at some point, can someone have common sense?
And I'm not surprised we're having this conversation. I think we talked about this with Charles not that long ago, probably about a year ago. Like, what this may look like moving forward. At the risk of sounding like a bit like an isolationist, every now and then it's okay just to have our own thing. It is. It's okay to just say, you know what, this is us. This is our thing, American football, and that's just what it's going to be. Like, there's nothing wrong with that.
Right. Like, basketball has successfully really become an international sport. It's also it's a lot easier in a lot of ways for that to happen.
Yeah.
Baseball kind of, like here in Asia and Latin America, but then really not in Europe. And I just, it's okay. Some things, hockey's really big in some countries, not in others. Yeah. We have the best leagues in everything here but soccer of the sports we care about. We're good.
Yeah, we're fine.
We're okay.
It's okay. It's just sometimes you just leave stuff alone. 615-737-1025. Our phone number. We'll take your reaction to that. The NFL apparently having a goal one day to expand over to Europe and actually have teams over there. Taking your thoughts on that. I guess that's my fault. I shouldn't say Europe. Outside of the United States.
I mean, if it's like Mexico City, then I guess then that's doable. But
Toronto.
But I don't think that's the idea, right? Yeah, right. Yeah, but those Argonauts, man, we don't mess with the Argonauts. Hey, real quick,
we can't interrupt the CFL. We can't do it.
Don't mess with my Argos. Real quick, someone did text in the Belmont students have to get 40 convocation hours a semester. They fall in different criteria, like personal growth.
Okay.
So they're short convocations that happen all semester. So
today we're going to talk about sewing your sweater in case it gets a hole in it. I'm Paul Kuharsky.
I need mic'd up footage of PK leading the personal growth class.
God, is he going to actually lead it today? We need to find out. Get in here, PK.
Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Taking your thoughts at 615-737-1025. People very passionate about the NFL's potential expansion outside the United States.
Not in a good way.
It does not seem to be very popular.
No, the point being made about watering teams down, which is already happening.
Yeah, I don't know that we need more bad football. Not that the NFL's got like some rampant bad football problem, but I mean, there are, I would say that there are probably, enough bad teams to the point where it's like, do you really need to add to the league? Like, do we need more players in the NFL? Because I don't know that that's the problem in the NFL.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of the same thing. Like, the NHL, we've talked about this. It's going to expand again. And it's like, okay, at what point are you guys like totally watering down the product of like, there are not, there's 32 teams in the NHL right now. You get to 36 teams. Like, there's probably not enough talent right now for 36 teams to field, semi-competitive teams. Like, it just doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
There's a limited amount of talent out there in the world.
Right. So there's that, along with all the other dumb stuff about it. So, yeah, it's just someone texted in that Goodell's grossing $64 million this year. If the NFL goes global, he'll jump to $100 million plus. That's Lance. I don't know if that's if you're sourcing that information, Lance. $64 million to decide on whether it should be a 3 or 4 game suspension. Yeah. Well, look, man, he does the bidding of these owners. I mean, he's there.
He does.
He takes the hits, man. So I'm not saying look, the way that league prints money, that's not a terribly surprising number.
No, it's not. T-Bone asking, what are the odds the Super Bowl will be overseas at some point? See, I've got less of a problem with that than I do.
Yeah, I mean, I think that they're pretty good odds, T-Bone. And I'm with you. It's like, okay, if you have 2 weeks, I mean, it's still dumb. Like, it's an American sport. But like, that would not shock me. And I absolutely, to both teams, go over there. The huge problem with the overseas thing is like competitively, like you're really putting some teams at a disadvantage compared to others.
Yeah. And
you're trying to have this whole league is designed for, you have the draft. It's everything is designed. I mean, you've got the revenue sharing, it's designed for parity, and so when you do something like this, I just don't see how you're not going to have, because again, even the schedules and everything, everybody agrees on how the formula works, and it makes sense, and it is fair. It may not turn out the way you think it will turn out because some teams are way better than others, whatever. But I mean, it's fair on paper. I don't know how you make it fair on paper if you do that.
I mean, and this is even like, they're playing an international game here in like 2 weeks, 3 weeks in Melbourne, and it's LA and San Francisco. The flight from LA to Melbourne is 16 hours. So you got to go down there. You got to go back. And I'm supposed to believe that, like, that's not unfair to the Rams and the Niners that they have to go do that. Like, I understand it's the first week of the year, so you can leave early and do whatever you want, but you still have to fly back, and then you have to play the next week. It's not like they're having a week 2 bye,
You talk about, people talk about, like, long flights. I'm the loser of that game.
That sucks. Yeah.
Well, you can watch the entire Godfather trilogy twice.
Yeah.
Make yourself feel better about losing to the Rams, Niners. Yeah, it's not even just like a loss, like you're losing to a division rival, a team you hate, and then you have to fly 16 hours.
Niners will be long way away from that substation. That substation won't even be in the back of their mind down there in Melbourne.
Do they have any in Australia?
I think a lot of things in Australia.
Does the
you may not have to worry about a substation, but you have to.
How the toilets go the other way, in the southern hemisphere? Like, is it like the wind in the substation also go the other way? I don't know.
Like, wow, there's a giant camel spider out here. It's incredible.
Yeah, they got some
spiders as big as my TV. Cool.
Scary animals down there.
Chasing after Ty Simpson over there on the sideline. Somebody protect him. Oh, man. Yeah, we'll see what happens on that front, but I just don't think that's going to be a very popular idea with NFL fans here on the international front. I think there's a lot of reasons where it just doesn't make sense. And to your point, like, I do wonder if at some point the NFL looks around and says, yeah, we could make more money. We could, but is it kind of stupid? Like, is this kind of a dumb idea? I have my doubts that that's going to be the way that they end up thinking about it, because I think they've proven that the bottom line is basically all they care about. But I hope at some point there's at least enough common sense in that room that this at least becomes some sort of debate, and it's not just a foregone conclusion at this time 10, 15 years from now. There's 8 teams in Europe that are in the NFL.
And this is why owners should be available. And I appreciate the ones who are, and I don't appreciate the ones who aren't. Because I'd like to hear what Amy Adams Strunk has to say about this. Are you for this? Because that's what it comes down to. It comes down to these people. It comes down to these billionaires and whether they're actually going to go forward with this. And they dictate everything that Roger Goodell does. And he's the one who talks about it, and everybody blames him, but it's them. So this is why, this is why these people need to be accountable publicly. Because people aren't angry enough about this because it doesn't affect them.
Right.
But when it screws over their team, that's when people, oh, my God, how could we have done this? Yeah, well, it's too late now.
Jordan on the YouTube chat says, quote, "There are not 32 quarterbacks in the U.S. and the Democratic Republic of the Congo better than me," from Will Levis. It is amazing the shade that Will Levis can take in conversations that we have.
Yeah. In retrospect, man, he shouldn't have said that.
I know that there are not 32 quarterbacks better than me in the NFL.
There are 11 quarterbacks better than me. I will name them now.
Cam Ward, not one of them.
Yeah. Oh, boy. Yeah, that's going to keep coming up, isn't it?
Yeah. And I got a feeling we're getting ready to see a lot of him this weekend against Seattle.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully Mitch is fine and biceps ready to go by the time the joint practices roll around. But I think there's a chance maybe Trubisky doesn't play this weekend and you're going straight from Ward to maybe 2 quarters of Levis.
Yeah, today's going to be interesting because I have my questions about the Trubisky injury.
Yeah.
I've never heard about anything that would qualify as an injury that's a biceps injury. Now, some are disastrous. There's different levels, but I've never seen one where it wasn't at least a while.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to know, first off, I would hope that nobody touched him in the practice. So, like, did it come from just throwing the ball? Or did he get hurt working out? I don't know. Like, that part of it's going to be interesting. I mean,
we've got
Saleh
Kuharsky's keen eye coming in.
We do. Saleh seemed to be, like, relatively optimistic that it wasn't that big a deal. But I'm with you. Like, you hear biceps, and I don't know that you automatically think, well, should be a couple of days.
Yeah.
There's no problem there.
Yeah, you'd think it might be at least be a couple of weeks. So, well, honestly, in terms of being, I'm not all that interested in watching Mitch Trubisky play anyway. Like,
I don't need to see him play another snap in the preseason.
QB2.
I know what he is.
He's QB2. He's fine. So, yeah, more Levis, some actual opportunity for Cinco. Isn't that what they called Hendon?
I think that's what they called him in Tennessee.
Yeah. Hendon Cinco. Yeah, get him out
Jay
there.
Daniels will be very upset about that.
That's right. Does he have to also give up does he have to scrub all the pictures of him playing in the number 5 at Tennessee?
I saw TikTok.
By the way, he went out and torched the Jaden Daniels team that
he did.
Was in attendance for that one. That was nice.
As was about 35,000 other Vols fans.
They did pack it.
I saw a TikTok yesterday. It was like it said Will Levis. It was back in his debut throwing 4 touchdown passes. It's like Will Levis threw 4 touchdown passes out of respect of Jaden Daniels. He left the 5th one off the board. It's
nice.
Like, this is a trend I could get behind for a little while. I think it's very funny.
Yes.
Very funny. 615-737-1025. We will resume our ripping of Joe Rexrode coming up next. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Taking your thoughts at 615-737-1025. One texter says, would you call Hooker and Levis Cinco de Mayo?
Oh.
Although I'm going to say just Mayo there. Cinco de Mayo.
Is that how they say it down here anyway? Cinco de Mayo?
Yes, actually. Can I get one of them tortillas? I was out to dinner one time with somebody who called it a tortilla, and I was like, what do you think that's called? Like, have you not been around? You've never been to a Mexican restaurant before?
Or a gyro?
Yeah.
Get you a gyro.
Yeah, that's a big thing down here. Can I get a gyro? It's like all of my family basically does that. Like, guys.
Yeah. No, I that one I understand. My mom grew up in Climax, Michigan. I've talked about this before.
Yeah.
Good old Climax, Michigan, farming village of 600. Went to Climax Scott's High School because you had to combine two villages to make a high school. A lot of people there say, well, let's go out for some Italian food. Italian food? Oh, man, I really love some Italian. What?
It's like, what's that movie with Will Ferrell and Robert Duvall in it? Is it Kicking and Screaming? Is that what it's called? And he's like, pass the ball to the Italians. I'm like,
I don't
really?
think I've seen that movie.
The Italians. Okay. Good to know. Yeah, I think the tortilla may be my favorite.
Yeah, tortilla.
Can I get a couple tortillas, please? Huh? No, you can't. Not until you learn how to say the word.
Well, speaking of tortillas, you were talking about you had a heck of an eating day yesterday. We had a nice, we'll not name the place, no free ads, Mexican food meal last night. And Kate, and I forget what it is. We were talking about where to get the driver's license. Oh, by the way, happy 16th birthday, Caroline Rexrode.
Hi. Happy birthday.
So that's why it's all coming back to me. Happy birthday. But Katie's like, they have one in Lebanon. I was like, do not ever say that again. What?
Oh, boy.
It's not Lebanon. Dude, it's Lebanon. We've lived here 10 years. What?
Oh, boy.
Tortillas in Lebanon?
Can you tell me the town that's next to Pigeon Forge in Gatlinburg? It starts with an S again.
Sevierville?
There we go.
What did I say before?
Seaverville.
Tom Seaverville.
You'll never forget it. There we go.
I'm asking for the name of this guy. Meanwhile, Liam says, don't rip poor Joe. He's a solid Mike 2 manager.
Wow.
He may not be flashy, but he takes what the audience gives him and keeps coming back for more. There we go, Liam. Thank you, buddy.
So let's do the game manager conversation we had yesterday. Let's see what AI has to say about this. I've never done this before.
Okay.
So what is a game manager quarterback in football? AI says, quote, a game manager quarterback is an efficient, low-risk player who avoids costly turnovers, runs the play caller system precisely, relies on a strong defense and running game to win rather than carrying the offense with individual brilliance. That is AI's definition.
Okay.
So it's kind of a combination of our definitions.
Yeah. So what does it say for a playmaker quarterback?
Well, let's see. Hold on. What is a playmaker quarterback in football? Well, this is going directly to a video game. So, according to the EA Sports College Football and Madden, the quarterback playmaker mechanic, a tool that lets you manually redirect the receiver. So, AI does not have a definition for the playmaker quarterback.
So, again, AI is very confident in everything it says.
Very
it's
limited.
Wrong like a third of the time. So, well, I'll tell you my story. So, I was trying to think back, like, okay, how long, this conversation, I mean, goes back a long way. But actually, for me, the conversation about this was really heavy on my former beat, Michigan State. So this would be 2009. Okay. So, first of all, I'll put the setting for you. Tom Izzo was doing like this thing, like he was doing like a Broadway play for charity. It was called Izzo on Broadway. It was like a play about him. Long story. But anyway, he was doing these rehearsals and a few of us went and watched. It was funny. And then we like went out and got, a couple beers and we got into this heated argument because at the time, 5-star playmaker quarterback Keith Nickel, who had decommitted from Michigan State, gone to Oklahoma, lost to Sam Bradford, had come back to Michigan State. He was going to be the superstar. There were this add-on quarterback who was in his third year named Kirk Cousins, who was, the challenger. Well, at that point, it was clear to me that Cousins was better. Izzo and many others were like, this dude is a playmaker. He is Brett Favre, right? Like, So that's that particular quarterback competition was the definition of those two styles, right? It was playmaker Keith Nickel, super athlete, run all over the field, every measurable's awesome, throw it a million miles, all that stuff. Cousins, and we know what Cousins is. I mean, Cousins is exactly what he was then. Not athletic, not a cannon arm, but the ball's out fast, the ball's accurate. So there, and then of course it turns out Cousins, Nickel eventually switched to receiver, but that is so there to me is an example of a clear playmaker, a clear game manager, where the game manager is better than the playmaker, right? So that's where it's like, so because I feel like on your side it is basically a qualitative discussion for you, right?
Yes.
Like I think Zach Wilson is a playmaker quarterback. He falls into that category. He sucks. He makes stupid plays, but he's a playmaker quarterback. See? And I feel like a lot of people, you included, are like, if you say playmaker quarterback, you're just talking about a really good quarterback. Again, maybe there's style part of it too, but for the most part, you're not ever talking about crappy quarterbacks. Game manager, you might be talking about crappy quarterbacks.
Yeah, like I think in one of our several text message conversations yesterday, I said, nobody ever turns on NFL Live or pick whatever show you want and starts talking about a game manager quarterback, and like Tom Brady's who they're talking about. They're talking about like, Derek Carr or I guess Kirk Cousins. So like one of those things. So it doesn't necessarily mean you're a bad quarterback. Like I keep coming back to kind of the Tannehill part of it of good player. You can win with them. There's a way that they're going to have to play, but you're never going to look at Ryan Tannehill and be like, all right, in order for us to get to the Super Bowl, you're going to have to throw it 45 times a game, and you're going to have to just absolutely carry us there, right? Like that's probably not a good strategy with Ryan Tannehill as your quarterback. Whereas with Peyton Manning, yeah, you can do that. Tom Brady, you can do that. Stafford, you can do that. So, like, I've kind of always looked at it that way in terms of if you're the driving force of your team and you are the reason that you are advancing as far as you are in the playoffs, that's the type of quarterback that I'm talking about when it comes to not being a game manager.
Well, just like that this program, three people, officially the official stance is that my side is better because Ian agrees with me. So I just want you to know. Yeah, no, I know. Again, this is why I like just the wording. It's weird that I've actually never had this argument about the semantics of this because I get it. I mean,
could this be coming at the Athletic?
What's that?
Could this be coming at the Athletic? Breaking this down. I mean, apparently it's everywhere now. Unsportsmanlike was talking about it before the show.
Yeah, and it sounded like Evan agreed with me. So. There we go. There's put another person on my side. I got a prominent radio host in town who we'll call him Brian Summers, agrees with me.
Yep.
Let's see who tweet who said late to this, but Joe Rexrode was totally right on game manager. It's not defined as a style of play that you can fit into as an elite player, then get rid of the terminology and just say that guy stinks because that's what you mean. If it's not defined as a style of play, that you can fit into as an elite player, then you get rid of, because like you say with Brady, like the way I look at it is I actually think that Brady and Cousins are exactly the same style. Brady's just way better, but it's basically like pretty similar limitations. I mean, Brady could move better than Cousins. I mean, Cousins like is really limited. Cousins is like Jared Goff level limited, who's also to me a game manager quarterback, but a game manager quarterback who is like, you would agree with that, right? Would you agree with that?
I agree with that, but the definition that he just said, I think is totally bogus. Like it's not you're either bad or you're good. It's are you responsible for your team winning? Are you the primary driving force for your team winning?
I almost feel like you're talking. I mean, like what people is like franchise.
Yes,
you know what I mean. So, like that's how your definition of it. I would apply that term to it as opposed to playmaker. Because again, I think playmaker quarterbacks can suck too. Snoop Huntley, Pro Bowler, is a playmaker quarterback. He sucks, but he's a playmaker. Again, it's just like it's how we define it.
I mean,
which
right
is why
now,
we should probably just come up with new terms.
The whole part
we concluded yesterday.
I was thinking about this yesterday. Like the funny part about all of this is like right now, I mean, if we're going by your definition, I mean, Cam's way more of a playmaker quarterback than he is a game manager. Like part of being a game manager is like there's a pretty giant prerequisite that you got to be accurate, and he's just not accurate right now. So
Yeah.
that part of it is going to be interesting to monitor if that ever changes.
I mean, that's the thing. This all goes back to the Blake Bedingfield piece, which is like, I think he wants to be a playmaker quarterback, and certainly, like again, his best plays have been playmaker quarterback plays. But yeah, I mean, just be good at whatever you're doing. Like, I mean, everybody has to make plays at quarterback, even like the Dilfers of the world at time, and everybody has to manage a game. So. Texter's asking how was Steve McNair viewed. To me, Steve McNair was definitely a playmaking quarterback, but again, that's my definition of typically, like, I only consider the playmaking quarterback someone who does things with their feet too. Trevor Maddich called Manning and Brady game managers, just the best of game managers. That's how I've looked at it too. All right. I like having Trevor Maddich on my side. Thank you, Trevor.
There you go. Mike says Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, both playmaking quarterbacks. See, I don't think Josh Allen and Joe Burrow play the same way at all.
Yeah, I would. I mean, Josh Allen is 100% the definition of, like, to me, of a playmaking quarterback. Like, Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson are the two primary examples. Those are playmaking quarterbacks, right? They do everything. They're all over the place, and they make things happen out of nothing. Again, the playground element of this. Yeah, Burrow, I'd probably put him more in a game manager the way I do it. But Burrow does
he can move.
Stuff. Yeah.
The more his
pretty
career
soon he's
goes
going to
on,
be
I would recommend him not doing so.
Yeah, pretty soon he's going to be a standing in a full body cast quarterback, whatever. Then create a new category for him.
615-737-1025 is our phone number. We'll have the Rob rant coming up next, moving some stuff around today with Kuharsky coming in later in the program. That's coming up next. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game.
Don't make me angry.
Sometimes you have to tell someone to pound sand.
You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
This is the Rob Rant. Now on Robby and Rexrode.
There's nothing like Kentucky basketball. There's just nothing like it.
Paul's reading habits too. Are these on the toilet or what are we doing here?
I'm inventing solutions for gout.
Kick me in the butt. I'm already fucking. Kick my ass right now. Kick it.
Do me a favor. Just kick my ass, okay? Kick this ass for a man, that's all. Kick my ass. Enjoy. Come on. I'm not asking, I'm telling with this. Kick my ass.
You can't stay away from shellfish, meat, and meat.
There was a lot of meat, you know what I mean? And of course I ate all of it.
Pardon Key. How
Hi.
I love Paul Kuharsky.
Today we're going to talk about sewing your sweater in case it gets a hole in it. I'm Paul Kuharsky.
she does not disrobe anywhere near me.
Also, I'd like to tell everyone that Pat McAfee's album is amazing. You should listen to it. Every track is really good.
Eugene smoking on some new green.
I mean, this is like Paul Kuharsky lyrics, you know?
So what we're saying is it's my fault. It is time for the Rob Rant here on the program, served by the Wine Cellar in Hendersonville.
I'm not asking, I'm telling. Enjoy.
Watch the movie.
Moving some things around today. Kuharsky will be with us a little bit later in the program. We'll get into all things Tennessee Titans with him. Going with the rant now. Joe, I want to speak to Ohio State today, okay? I mean, far be it from me to, take much issue with Ohio State football. They've had pretty good track record of success. Won a national title a couple years ago. They are probably, in my lifetime, Joe, the one program that really has never had much of a downturn. Like, I guess Georgia really hasn't had much of one either. But Ohio State, I mean, my entire life has been very good. So congratulations to them. They're a powerhouse. They're not going anywhere, all these things. I do wonder, though, at what point we start looking at them and really specifically their coach, Ryan Day, and say, are you allowing the rivalry with Michigan, which apparently us mortals just can't understand? Like, I know there's Auburn, Alabama around here, and there's Tennessee, Alabama, and there's Georgia and Florida, and all these great rivalries down here in the South. But apparently we just have no idea what a rivalry looks like when it compared to Ohio State and Michigan up there. I do wonder at one point, are you allowing Michigan maybe to occupy a little too much headspace out there? So I don't know if you've seen this. Ohio State has moved their senior day from the Michigan game, which is the last game of the season, which is when everybody else has their senior day on the last day, because, this is the last game of their senior season. They've moved it to week 1. So they're having senior day against, I guess, Ball State, who's who they're opening up with. So they're avoiding having senior day on against Michigan.
So they can lock in. Last year he changed up like the travel schedule because they had lost 4 in a row. And instead of taking the bus, they flew to Ann Arbor. He moved like something with the marching band around to normalize the rivalry game too. So now you're moving senior day away from the Michigan game, I guess, to be able to, like, I wonder at what point are you like psyching yourself out too much with all the steps you're taking to lock in against Michigan. I know they won last year, so good for them. Like, they ended the streak, and that's great for them. But Michigan sure seems to occupy a whole lot of headspace for Ryan Day in this program right now. It's kind of amazing. Like, I saw this, and it's like, is you guys really moving senior day around? The 15 extra minutes it takes before the game to shake somebody's hand them some flowers, and then go play football. I don't know, Joe. I've seen some teams have senior day and actually, be able to play the football game after and do it pretty well and win. Yeah.
But we got to move senior day to Ball State. Ball State out there, week 1. Aren't they honoring like Jim Tressel out there too? Like, week 1, got to do it. We can't have any distractions against Michigan.
Don't you dare hug your mother when you're about to hit a Wolverine.
Just like, look, again, far be it from me to criticize Ryan Day and Ohio State. They've a pretty good track record of success, but boy, they let Michigan occupy a lot of that headspace. They sure do.
This is a very good rant, and it also actually kind of pairs with a rant I was going to do, and I forgot. So thank you. Because I think, and I don't know if this is true. Some people have speculated this, and I think it might be true. I think this is partially a troll from him. Because have you seen the stuff on the Michigan side with Kyle Whittingham and Bryce Underwood. This all. Well, don't you hate Ohio State?
Yeah.
I mean, which is, by the way, and Whittingham's like, yeah, I'm like a grown up man. I'm an adult, so like I respect people, and like I've had friends there, and like we want to win the game. What?
Yeah, we
what
would like to
idiot?
win.
Like the whole conversation of that is like a great example of like the just fanboy just overload in some college media cores. Like, Coach, you don't hate Ohio State. Why don't you hate them like I hate them? And it's like, what, man? What, you have a credential?
If Ryan Day was here right now, would you challenge him to a fist fight?
So, and then Bryce Underwood said something like, yeah, I mean, it's just another game. Like, look, I understand. Like, okay, if you're a Tennessee or Alabama fan and you heard a player on a current team say something like that, you'd probably be like, no, it's not a normal game. But also, like, with their kids, like, go win the game, and you're awesome. I don't care if you, like, have a voodoo doll of the other team, right? So I do think that possibly this, and I agree with you, it's so dumb. Like, oh, senior day, opening day. But I feel like it might be.
Played a down of football yet, but congratulations to the seniors.
Hey, guys, I hope you get through your senior year. Let's start it off by saying goodbye to you. Okay. But I do think that it's possible that it's like doubling down on, oh, they don't even hate us. Well, we're going to focus in and lock in. I don't know. I could be wrong. Either way, it's total debaggery.
Well, I mean, just, Matthew from Jolton says, like, the Iron Bowl couldn't lift the game's jockstrap. It's like, okay. Like, if you don't think the Iron Bowl and Michigan, Ohio State are comparable, then that's just, you're not living in reality.
That's not reality at all. In fact, I would argue the Iron Bowl is the best rivalry in college football. That's me. Michigan, Ohio State's great. Absolutely great. The thing is, Michigan, it's been good to see Michigan win a few because for like 20 years, they never won.
Yeah.
It was actually a crappy game. But regardless, it's a very good debate. The idea that either of them couldn't lift the other's jockstrap is stupid, and probably said from a fan of one of the teams.
That would
which
be my guess.
Is Matthew from Jolton, a Michigan fan.
Well, and like, I just, I hear everybody on like the Whittingham Underwood stuff. Like, I understand, like, if Heupel came out and was like, yeah, Alabama, just whatever, it's what I
kind of like those guys.
I probably wouldn't like it, but it's also like, I don't necessarily want Heupel worried about Alabama in August. The third week of October, great, worry about him. Like, that's when you need to worry about him. Like, I don't know how much energy I want Bryce Underwood, if I'm a Michigan fan, spending in Ohio State, who you don't see until the end of November in August, right? Yeah. Right. The first step of business for Bryce Underwood is like, is he any good?
Exactly.
I don't know.
Exactly. You say whatever you want. Please play better. Like, give us a chance to win this game. That's what I care about. But yeah, to the point of that rivalry, you do go back like Woody and Bo, and they would, every practice, no matter who you're playing Minnesota, but we're going to have one drill that's a focus on something about Michigan. Woody or
sure.
I mean, when Mark D'Antoni got to Michigan State, he put in the clock, and it was like it's this many hours, minutes until kickoff at Michigan, right? No matter who's playing all year long, the clock. So, people do that stuff, and people get all fired about that stuff, and that's great. But yeah, like, you kind of want to focus on like doing your daily work and other teams and other stuff.
I mean, I'm interested to see what happens next with Ryan Day. What else does he move away from the Michigan game? He's like, no one's allowed in the stands. Got to have complete focus out there. Don't want anybody looking up at the crowd, getting distracted.
No PA announcer.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear our names called after a tackle. Shut up.
615-737-1025. Our phone number. We will get back into the Titans coming up next. We welcome more of your questions and your thoughts on our text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game.
Stand back. There's a hurricane coming through.
Hour number 2 of the program, and Paul Kuharsky from paulkuharsky.com is with us here on the show today. PK, good morning. How are you?
Good to see you, boys. Good to be here. Thank you for accommodating the shift in schedule, which Robbie is always cool about and Joe is always an ass about.
Well, you need to explain yourself. I mean, what this convocation? What are we talking about?
I got to put on a cap and gown.
That's what I was
9 o'clock for an hour.
So what is the topic? Someone texted earlier, like we just have like life topics. Like, are you teaching
I don't know
something
what
about
convocation really is. I'm not teaching anything. I'm walking with all the other faculty into the Curb Center. Somebody will speak and say big dramatic things about the opening of the school year. I will return to my office, hang it up, and zip over to the Titans. And then at 5 o'clock, my school year will open with my first sports writing class.
Hey,
I'm excited about that.
That's a big day.
I don't think you're giving enough deference to this event. You know, you're just kind of blowing it off. I want you to be a little more serious about this.
He's
Okay?
dressing up.
You're putting on a cap and gown.
I haven't been in a cap and gown in quite some time. It's hanging in my office. It looks pretty cool. The Columbia one, I will say, outshines some of the ones I'm seeing hanging around my floor. It's got the light blue. It's got the crowns on the shoulder. It's nice looking.
You're going to sit there doodling on
Wear
your
it twice
phone
a
while
year.
someone's talking? Why don't you lock in
I'll lock in.
and be respectful?
I'll lock in.
Oh, now you're going to rip on Belmont degrees because you went to Columbia?
No, I'm locked
Okay.
in.
All
I'm going to
right.
help these kids
Let's have a little
get-
respect for
get this
people.
degree. Speaking of respect, I mean, I've got two things.
Okay.
One of them.
You forgot them. You forgot them both already. Good job, Mr. Magoo.
One of them's delicate.
Great
the
start.
first one's on me. I diligently was trying to get the shots this summer and everything, and I was due for the second half of the shingles shot. I'm that age, and shingles are apparently like the worst thing you
don't want that.
one of the worst things you can get. My sister's had.
Yeah, fart that, man.
All right,
Fart all
so
that.
so I went for the second half of the shingle shot. I talked to my brother. I'm like, should I, any risk in this that like I'm going to put myself under for the beginning of the school year? Should I wait? And he's like, I had no effects. And I talked to my wife, and she's like, yeah, nothing. And so I go and I get that shot, but they're like, you want the flu shot? I'm like, sure, throw on the flu shot. And so I feel like each of Rexrode's gout-filled feet are standing on one of my sinuses. And I've been on the CPAP, and I'm doing great on the CPAP. And I had the worst, most restless night. I mean, I never look at the clock when I can't sleep. That's like a rule.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's 2 hours. I don't know if it's 5 hours. I did the eye motion thing that's supposed to help you fall asleep. I did the thing where you say, what am I going to think about next? Which kind of puts you in a blind space where you don't know. And you just keep asking yourself that. I ran the beginning
What
of my.
the hell are you talking
I know
about?
exactly what he's
You
talking
say,
about.
what am I going to think about next? And then you just keep saying, what am I going to think about next? And nothing comes into your head, and and that's a way to blank your head.
Here comes a thought. Oh, no, it didn't.
Oh, I did it again. I thought,
Oh, I'm sleeping.
I ran through the beginning of my class. I tried to remember some of the kids' names. It was absolutely miserable, and I feel terrible. Like, hey, flu shot? Yeah. Yes, give me the flu.
I welcome the flu into my body. Thank you very much.
Now, on to delicate matters.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Oh, we're talking VD now. What?
No. But listen, nobody's going to say this. And congratulations to Chase and Joe. They're great.
Oh yeah,
show.
we need to bring that
It's a
up.
great show.
Thank you.
And they won an award. But did you guys know this award existed?
We were not nominated.
I did not know that the entire ceremony existed.
I was gonna
Completely frank.
ask why we weren't a runner up or anything.
Nashville media is filled with this. I found in my 30 years
So
here.
you're gonna rip the award.
No,
now?
I'm going to say that
Delicate matters.
there are more media awards in this town that nobody in the media knows about than anywhere conceivable. I used to wake up and I'd see on Twitter Maurice Patton, Sports Writer of the Year, and I'd be like, in what? Like, I didn't know this organization existed. Congratulations to Maurice Patton. He's had a good career. He does great work covering preps around town. But like, I'd see it like 5 years in a row, and I'm like, how do, like, I'd like someone to look at me. I don't know how you get looked at.
How do you get nominated?
It's like a secret society that awards the things. And I don't know how to get in the secret society. And I'm pretty good at secret stuff. I'm pretty good.
A couple responses. First of all, I know Mo Patton won NSMA, National Sports Media Association.
How do you
1
get
year
in
for
that?
10 rate.
I mean, I paid dues
People-
for a couple of years, but nobody over there. It's like you send an email, and there's like it sends you back like a blank, a 401 message.
No nomination.
Yeah, I mean, you pay dues and you remember.
Yeah, I paid dues a couple of years, but they were so unresponsive. It was like a flatline thing.
Okay, but also, I didn't know about it. I saw the award. It looked like they were at an awesome
Congratulations to
award
them.
ceremony.
Awesome award.
Awesome. No, I mean, I'm happy for them. I'm also a little bit bitter, like that we weren't, nominated or something. I would like you.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy with 2
PaulKuharsky.com.
jobs.
I would like you. Why can't you do the Nashville Radio Awards at PaulKuharsky.com?
Well, because I'm not impartial and you would win.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, that's maybe the sweetest thing you've ever said.
Isn't that
My
nice?
goodness.
This turns out to be a
That would've been a
lovely
nice
segment.
little
And
love
we know
fest
who would
right there.
lose. And it's no secret. Where's the air conditioning today, by the way?
It's
What's going on?
very warm in here.
I can crank it up a notch
Yeah,
for you.
crank it up 3 notches.
3? I can only go 2.
All right, 2. I'll take 2.
We can't get
Hell
below
of
a
a
certain
negotiation.
temperature in here.
So
All hell
congratulations
breaks
to
loose.
Chase and
Big
to
Joe
Big
and Nick
Joe
Frazier,
and
Dr.
Nick
Craig.
Frazier. But I would encourage them open up the competition and take some people on next year.
Well,
let people
I
know
assume there were
about
other
the-
nominees, right? Were they the
I don't
only
know.
nominee?
When I tell you that I had no idea this was happening.
What's
I
on the
didn't-
game 2 right now?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's a good question.
But I mean, the pictures looked like it looked like an awesome awards.
It did.
It did.
Like they're like
I
dressed
mean, you
up.
guys could have gone to
No
support them.
invite for that
If you
either.
knew
Yeah,
it existed.
we weren't even invited.
No invite.
We weren't even invited.
Never
I would have showed up half drunk. I mean,
Why half?
cause I would have finished the other half while there.
Joe, Scalem guy.
You got to protect yourself from the gout.
That's
All
right.
right. That's everything I came in with.
Good stuff.
By the way, I met
Coming in
somebody.
hot.
Was talking to somebody yesterday that's dealing with potential gout, but in their hands,
Yeah.
like right here by the
They
thumb.
all come
Any
to us.
joints possible, knees, hands,
Head,
elbow.
shoulders, knees, and
Typically
toes.
goes to the feet, but that's tough, man.
The story
Yeah.
came up of how when you were dealing with one of your episodes of gout, I looked over to my right at one point and your foot was just hanging up over here on the table.
Call Joe's
It's like,
gout
hey, look,
hotline.
There's Joe's barefoot.
Sorry about that.
Have you thought about that as a second year?
That you- like
as
that-
a second job?
You
Joe's
could have gotten
gout
HR.
support
You could have gotten
hotline?
HR involved on that one, man.
Joe's
you
gout
really-
support hotline.
Yeah.
How may I help you?
You could really run a business.
Yes, I have an appointment open Friday afternoon. I'm not. God knows I'm not writing anything for the Athletic.
Oh,
Oh, wow. Shots fired.
a consultation, if you will.
I've got like a few things coming this week. So,
Oh, boy.
so you just watch
I
yourself.
hope they feature it in a way I can find it.
All right, so we have not spoken with you since preseason game number 1. We won't spend a ton of time on that, but obviously the big
When they give you 10 days.
yeah, it's a long time. Big takeaway from the first game obviously was Cam Ward. His performance did not go very well for him in terms of the accuracy with the football. The intentional grounding play was not very good. What did you make of I guess what's your biggest takeaway from Cam Ward, and how concerning was that performance in a game setting?
Well, I mean, it was really bad. You look at that first play, the 2 tackles. I mean, there's nothing in the middle, and the 2 tackles have their guys anchored, and he's got Helm wide open cutting across, and he pats the ball, and he looks. I saw somebody's video clip. I wish I could give them credit. He said he looks like he's going to punt. He starts to move right, and he's holding the ball as if he's going to punt it. He immediately goes when he had a super clean pocket, and Reed had to have been Reed number 1 wide open. That is an inauspicious start right there. He completed 2, good short passes on the first drive, but the running game took care of everything. And Saleh was right on it from the beginning. He's sped up. Why? Why? And then the first practice back, he was overall good, but he started off looking like, I'm not going to be sped up. Here's a loopy screen that you've got no chance to gain any yards after you catch this bad boy, because you might have to fair catch it. And holding the ball. Now he eased into a much better practice. Look, preseason game doesn't mean that much in the big picture, but you want to see steady progress from this guy. And that was not progress at all. That was almost regression from badness. So, you could take the degree of concern that you find appropriate. I'm in the middle. I need to see more this week to tell us that he's on a path. If he does it again, I don't see how you're not somewhat concerned. And he's throwing short, which is what they want. Saleh has said at the scrimmage, he threw short, right? And I wrote about that. The important throws were the short ones. Saleh said, that's good decision-making. That's what we want. They're going to take stuff away until we kill them short, and then they'll give us some chances to be aggressive. Well, we haven't seen any chances to be aggressive yet because the short game is not punishing enough.
So it's interesting because I think being in the middle makes sense. I have seen some who cover the team who are who have, I guess, framed it a little bit more like it's being overreacted to. And again, this is like nationally, right? Because
nationally,
that's
if you
all-
haven't seen him practice,
yeah, like if this is your only, like I forget the podcast, but there were people talking about Cam, like you're worried about him, stuff like that, and that's the only glimpse of it. It's a bad glimpse. There's no question it's a bad glimpse. How do you weigh that bad glimpse? Because that's the only game conditions, the only time he could have actually been tackled, right? Like there is something about it that's like that means a little more because there's at least the danger of being hit against quite a few good practices, probably more good practices than bad, right?
yeah, at least even. Probably, I'd say at least even. But people don't want to hear. You got to wait and see. They want a final judgment right now. They just can't have it. For me, some people more anxious for clicks than me are going to offer it and make declarations. But I do what Blake wrote, and you guys talked about it earlier. I mean, I'm not going all the way there that he's got to be Brock Purdy, but I think he needs to be more that kind of quarterback. I mean, Saleh's saying he's got to take the short stuff and wait for the chances.
Right.
So he's got to be, game manager is such a negative term. He's got to manage the game well and wait for his opportunities to make the big play. Does that make him a terrible quarterback? I mean, he's not going to be the ideal number one kind of guy like Marino or Mahomes, talking where you're picked or as a number one quarterback, like top 5 guy in the league. But can you win with a guy like Purdy who maybe takes more shots and has more magic in him? Yes, I'm not ready to dismiss that at all. And by the way, I mean, San Francisco's offense is way different, but I've watched Brock Purdy a couple times, and that guy's damn good at doing what they do. He does what they ask him to do, and they are a terrific offense. There is no shame in somebody saying, hey, you should be a little I would say you should be more like Brock Purdy. Blake went all out and said he should be Brock Purdy. That, by the way, is the biggest talker of the week. You should go read it at paulkuharsky.com.
If you are a Titans fan, or you're Cam Ward, and someone said, sign this, and you will be exactly as good, basically the same as Brock Purdy, sign it right now.
Yes.
Oh, by the way,
listen,
but there are people
fine.
who would say, oh, no,
Well,
number one pick. No.
The number one pick can't be like the last pick. Yeah, he can. It's okay. Like the valuations of the draft and how guys are valued coming out, it's an inexact science. It's an inexact art. And there was no quarterback in that draft. People say, well, you should have traded and waited. I mean, there's another school of thought that I lean more towards. You got to take your crack when your time comes. And that's what they did. I heard
they could have
Stilly.
traded, and they could have traded, and they could have had Jackson Dart, and those two are going to be compared.
Right.
That's probably what it would
And
be.
I'm not sold on Jackson Dart.
No,
yet.
I'm not sold on him either.
And he might be Tua with the head stuff. We'll see. I mean, I know this weekend wasn't a big deal, but he had a bad first year with that.
Well, and he's back in the injury tent this weekend.
But it was short and not that meaningful. But I'll say this. You've got to take your swings. Their years to take swings have been very unfortunate. The Locker year, Young, they had a good swing at a guy that didn't pan out. They've been quarterback unlucky plus not developed guys. Well, it's a really hard thing to do, and they're hardly the only team in the league trying to do it.
615-737-1025, our phone number. Paul Kuharsky with us on the show. We'll welcome your questions for PK. More coming up next. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game, taking your thoughts at 615-737-1025. We are presented by Green Ventures Landscaping, outdoor patios, landscaping design, lawn maintenance, and more. Visit greenventureslandscaping.com. Paul Kuharsky with us here on the program.
Sad death in the ZZ Top family.
Yeah.
Just now?
Well, yesterday.
I think it was last night.
I guess, last night.
Who?
The drummer.
Oh, shoot.
Frank,
I'm sorry. I
Frank,
didn't know.
is it Frank Beard?
Beard was the last
Frank
name.
Beard,
Yeah, they said, hey, how ironic is that? The one guy without the beard. And ZZ Top, his last name is Beard.
Yeah. I told a story about seeing them at the Ryman.
Yeah.
That's the pull of the Ryman. Like, I'll go see somebody that's marginal to me, knowing it's going to be great. And it was great.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'd love to see ZZ Top of the Ryman.
Back on the Brock Purdy stuff. You know what the thing that stands out to me about Brock Purdy that I would sign up right now for Cam Ward getting to? He's basically a career 68% completion percentage. He threw 70% last year. Like, he's very accurate with football.
What's his yards per attempt?
His yards per attempt for his career is
8.6. That is way higher than I would have expected.
8.6.
That is way higher than I expected. Now, that a lot of that's yards after the catch, but it doesn't matter how you get them. I mean, that makes me want to sign up for Brock Purdy even more. I was sure it was going to be 7-something.
8.6. Yeah, and I was 7.5 last year. Or 7.6 last year,
Injury
but 8.6
plagued
career
season last year, dragging him down.
This makes me want to go back to the quote on him.
You don't have to read the whole quote.
No, but there's a great quote about Brock Purdy, because I do think that he is one of those. Like, I think people, they're like, Brock Purdy compared, like, even when Blake writes that, there are people who are like, ugh, you know what I mean? But it's like, guys, obviously he can't. Let's see, where did he come in on this thing? He came in, and this is, front office people. He came in 11th, first of all,
on the quarterback tiers.
On the quarterback tiers that Sando did, which I think is higher than some people would think. But I think
that sounds about right to me.
So here's a quote: stronger than you think, faster than you think, better than you think, talks more bleep than you think. End quote.
Well, that fits right with King.
It does. It does.
Yeah.
I also wrote, Fred Warner. Friend of mine got me some Fred Warner stuff out there that didn't get any play anywhere else. And he talked about Cam talking like he talks. And he said, it's unusual for a quarterback, and I didn't mind it, but he's going to have to decide if that works for him or not. And they're going to have to decide if that works for them or not. Now, I don't see him coming out of that, but Warner said that may amp him up, but it amps me up.
Yeah.
And do you want me more amped up? Pretty much.
Good question. Especially a guy like that.
I think that's a pretty good question. Like, does Cam Ward amped versus Fred Warner amped? Do you want that equation? I don't.
No.
Right.
Right. Maybe if Cam Ward gets really good, then yes.
Yeah, those one-handed push-ups actually hit.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, right now, the other team's best defender, I generally want to suppress.
Yeah.
Hey, LT, suck it, man. Come get me. Joe Theismann.
I thought that was,
whatever, LT. I'm just standing here for you.
I thought that was thoughtful by Warner.
Yeah, that's good. That's good
stuff. I mean, so I do think the preseason game this weekend is pretty important from the standpoint of what you just talked about, Joe. Like, it's great that he's having some good practices. We'll get into the secondary here in a minute and how much maybe that has something to do with it. But it's great that he's having good practices. It's not unimportant that he's having good practices. But if you can't translate it over to game, I just don't really care. I mean, that's kind of what it comes down to. So, like, to me, if he goes out there and he's not sharp this weekend in the game, there will be some concern for me. Like, I'm largely with you. It's a preseason game. I thought people were going a little bit off the rails Friday with their reaction to it because of how bad it was, and I understand it. But if it happens again in a game where he is just wildly inaccurate with the football and you just don't know what you're going to get there, I mean, you start to look at it and you say, practice is great. It doesn't really mean a whole lot if you can't transfer it over to a game setting.
Here's another thing about what he did. Like, he knows. He's got to know you can't throw a 1,000,000-mile fastball to Wan'Dale Robinson at 7 yards. You've got to accommodate the receiver some. Now, Io Manor talked last year early about the ball's on you fast. Well, the ball being on you fast is when you turn, you better be ready. It's not the ball's 100 miles an hour fast at 5 yards. That's not servicing the wide receiver. And I thought, hey, is he too amped up there? What's he doing?
Well, do you agree with Saleh? I mean, Saleh's interpretation seemed reasonable to
excellent.
me. Yeah, like just he it's like a rookie who, oh my God, it's so fast right now out here. Right?
But why is that the case?
Or I don't know.
It's not like he hasn't played before.
Well, or is it more these dudes can't block? I'm screwed. Like, is that, now I can get hit tonight?
I thought the blocking was pretty good.
Was, but in his mind, is
right.
It?
Well, that's what I asked Salah. I said, is there
know?
Potential that this is some carryover PTSD from last year?
Which happens to quarterbacks.
I wouldn't dismiss it.
I mean, that's one of the common. I'd say the seeing
undoes a lot of guys.
I think Marcus
undoes a lot.
I think some of the Marcus story was that.
I think so too. You get past a certain point, you can't get back. Let's hope he's sure as hell not there. Let's hope he's not there.
Still carving out a career for himself, though.
He is. Would you take Marcus's second year right now, Titans fans?
Yeah, I think you
for
would.
Cam, you'd be like, oh my God, he's going to be the greatest quarterback in Titans history.
Exactly. There is that.
I mean, they overhyped Marcus too, but I have to go look at that second year. I tend to remember Marcus
about 3,400, 26-9, 26 TDs and 9. I think pretty good YPA.
Yeah, 26. I mean, any Titans quarterback
plus some
over
big
22
running,
is a very solid.
What was his yards per attempt? Since you're looking at it,
yards per
so glad
attempt.
we can talk about Marcus.
Yeah, you love Marcus. Yards per attempt 7.6, which was the same as his rookie year, which was the same as his fourth year.
But you'll take that. I mean, if you're high sevens,
yeah,
fine.
You'll take it.
It's no Tannehill.
Well, you brought up the line, so Carmona obviously making a charge here at the right guard spot.
Carmona's talking today. I already talked to him. Good story up, Moot, that he's talking today.
There you go. PaulKuharsky.com. Check that out. So one of the things we tossed around yesterday, because, I mean, frankly, I watched Volson in the game the other night, and it's like, oh, boy, that's not very good.
So how much of this is Carmona taking the bull by the horns, and how much of it is Volson in particular and Slater not cutting it? And I think there's some of both. But Blake liked what he saw from Carmona. Thought it was a good start, both pass and run, and there's promise there. I am buying Latham. I am into Latham right now, and Latham can help Carmona there by being good. We saw run right in one preseason game, and Spears bounced off an inside run and went to the right. But, I had argued root for Slater because he's a better long-term solution. Well, even better than Slater as a long-term solution is Carmona, who's got an additional year.
Well, you say you're buying Latham. I mean, he looked good in the game. All accounts are he's looked pretty good in practice. I thought his press conference the other day was very intriguing. You can't have revolution without bloodshed, so that was intriguing. So, like, it appears to me from the outside looking in, maybe a little bit of a mentality shift with him. How much do you buy that?
I buy it because the guy. Now, maybe I'll look like a fool, and maybe when things get hard, it'll come apart. And I think we talked about this after his first press conference. He was talking about emotional intelligence. He was talking about a mental coach. He was talking about things that he read, things that he did, which were well beyond what I thought a guy could do to work on mentality, being so far removed from actual games where your mentality's tested. So I'm impressed by that one. Then when he spoke the other day, it was somewhat cryptic, and it didn't make for a great quote once you reread it. But he basically said, this is my interpretation. He basically said, somebody asked him about that he and Jeff had a long 2-hour conversation. And he basically said, the way I interpret it, we sat down and we hashed things out. We go about things differently, but we understand that now, and we can coexist, and we know we have to have each other's back with it, which is a super healthy locker room element. Because last year there was clearly stuff going on between them. There was clearly stuff going on between a lot of guys in that locker room and Latham and Sweat. When the veterans, not great veteran leaders, certainly Arden Key, not a great veteran leader. Who was the other one? I want to say Jones, who was a good veteran leader, but he was traded pretty early. It might have been him. It might have been somebody else. Ian might remember, he looks like.
No, nothing comes to mind. Sorry.
I think it was Jones.
It was, yeah.
Ernest Jones, yes.
Ernest. No, it wasn't Ernest.
Draymond Jones. Okay.
Draymond Jones. But they were saying that they're young guys, young, important guys. Not Jonathan. He's in witness protection.
Jerry.
They're young, important guys on this team who are not following the veterans who are trying to take us somewhere. And it was clear they were talking about Sweat and Latham.
Yep.
And Sweat's gone. and Latham seems to be reformed.
615-737-1025, our phone number. A lot more to get to with PK. We welcome more of your questions on our phone and text lines driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Taking your thoughts at 615-737-1025. Titans in action later this week in a joint practice against Seattle. Got the preseason game coming up on Sunday. National TV audience coming up on Sunday too. So treat yourself to some Titans and Seahawks football coming up.
Yeah. Yeah, I tell you. How are these? I mean, these things get pretty good numbers, right? Like
I'm sure they do.
Year,
yeah.
It's amazing to me because it's just hard. It's hard for me to watch. Like if I were to have turned on the Rams game and Ty Simpson was playing, okay, like I'll watch that. Like if there's a young player who's actually getting some run or something like that. But
beyond the first quarter,
for the most part, it's hard, man. Yeah,
I'm a Packers guy. I about the third quarter the other night when they were playing Pittsburgh, I was like, yeah, okay, I'm done.
Yeah,
we'll see you.
Yeah, like figure out the back of the roster.
Yeah.
The other thing that's tough about
the
joint practices, and I wrote about that Saleh has done away with a lot of drills. Old school 9-on-7, a lot less 7-on-7. One-on-ones are only O-line versus D-line, and we didn't see those in Santa Clara. He wants more stuff that looks like real football, and I like that. I think it's a good idea. I wrote about it. But that meant like in Santa Clara, even the AP photographer had nothing that showed players working against each other.
Yeah.
They were like tight individual shots of the Titans in the individual period,
which could have been any
San
day.
Francisco on individual period, which could have been absolutely any day. I asked the PR director, like, hey, is there any way we can just get some pictures that show physical evidence that the Titans and the Seahawks are working together on Friday? So hopefully at least some mingling stuff afterwards. I need guys desperately to mingle.
Is that like an edict from the substation? You shall not take pictures of both teams in the same frame.
Exactly.
Boy, that substation gets a lot of hype.
It sure does.
Did you get close to it?
We were
right. We were against the fence that separates the field from the substation.
Yeah, he's right there.
Take a picture of it.
I did send out from the other side. I sent out a picture of the practice field with the substation behind it because I know people are so unnecessarily fascinated.
Did you taunt it? Yeah. Okay, good. That's why you're here with us today.
So how
concerned
are we at this? Yeah. How concerned are we at this point about the secondary? I mean, it was not a great game in particular from Flott. The joint practice session apparently did not go well for the secondary either. Maybe it's a San Francisco thing. I don't know. Maybe they play a lot better this week, but I think there's some cause for concern on the secondary.
Yeah, I mean, it was bad. I think the one thing that's not being sold enough is that the pass rush that's supposed to be glorious with 4 rushing didn't do anything. And that's supposed to help out the secondary. I mean,
but the whole key to that pass rush wasn't out there, right? I mean, the interior.
Well, Simmons was out there.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. He didn't seem particularly interested in being out there. It was part of it.
I would not put him out there anymore. Anyway.
A Flott was, right there with Stribling on several of those plays. So if you want to find some good in it, he was in range of making plays. He wasn't beat by 10 yards. Here's my thing. Like, it came out of that and people were like, yeah, the secondary's been bad the whole time. I don't think the secondary's been bad the whole time. Like, were we talking out of practices that the secondary is getting torched by Cam? I think the secondary has been okay.
Well, I guess
through practice, it was a terrible performance.
Squad, though. Like, if you have a big day, isn't that at the expense of your secondary? I mean, he's had really good days. Tate's had great days.
But the defense has had some really good days too, and the secondary is part of that. So I didn't go into this practice last week thinking, oh, the secondary's on high alert here, especially with them not playing starters of San Francisco. I was surprised. I didn't watch, Stribling was energy packed right out of the gate. He outplayed Tate. And then in a game to have 7 catches before you sit down when you're playing with the ones is certainly disconcerting. Flott was especially bad. Seemed like while he was close, he was lost while he was close. And that's concerning. But I don't think it picked up on some huge problem that had existed from practice. And so let's see what he does Friday and Sunday.
Yep. But yeah, so again, it's like with the Cam conversation, right? It's like, so when it's a little bit higher stakes, the lights are on, okay, everybody's watching, you're on TV, you're in full pads, you're tackling. Well,
and he was accountable. He said he stunk. He wasn't making excuses.
To like how much does practice against yourself actually mean, right? Like at some point, the secondary, the pass rush, the quarterback, all of it, it's got to translate to playing your opponents because ultimately that's what matters.
And often secondary guys here aren't covering good receivers. They're covering better receivers now. It's certainly in Tate. Ridley, I think, looks reasonably good. Wandale is very shifty. Those guys aren't on him very much because he's inside. Isle Manners had a very strong camp. They're covering better quality guys than a lot of corners have here before.
I do want to go. So I want to go back when what you said the last segment on Latham. I mean, first of all, I agree with all you said about what I think the interpretation's right. But I've always been impressed with Latham when he talks. I think he's always been introspective. He's a smart guy and all that stuff. To me though, I just got to see it, right?
Yeah.
Now I think we did, but would you say
late last season I think maybe was
got a little
checking
better?
out.
Oh, it's checking out.
Yeah. I mean, he had that one game late with 3 penalties.
You can't do that.
And he was a mess.
Like the stakes are way too high to ever do that. So there's still some skepticism for me.
Oh, and there should be.
But
I mean, he's got to prove it.
Well, you just said you're all in.
I believe he's going to be better.
How much better?
I believe he could be the guy that he should be.
Like at the end of this year, we'll say, yeah, okay, he
They're
was
right
the number 7. No, not that. That's different. You're saying.
I think he could look like
the
a
number
top 10
7 pick. Oh wow.
I think he could look like a top 10.
Well, it would be outstanding this year.
Pretty good
to have no reservations heading into next year about the second contract.
Yeah, and that's a big thing for this team across the board. That's what we want with Cam. That's what we want with a lot of these guys.
But at that
no
position,
reservation about X at this position.
Yeah.
Cross it off. You're needless.
I do think the bar is a little lower. Like I think he can be mid, and that they still would think that way because they have to.
Well,
they know that
he's got to be better than Moore, who's mid.
But even if he's like about more, it's like, well, we can't try to draft 2 tackles, right?
No,
let's sign him, and then let's go get the left tackle.
Yeah, he's fortunate.
You hope it's more like, oh hell
yeah.
yes, we want to sign him.
But to me, even
he's
that's different
fortunate
than
in that way.
second contract. Let's get that figured
He's
out.
fortunate in that way that Moore is so mid.
Yeah, that's true. Right.
The first bar is be better than Moore. That one, I think, is very, very, very achievable.
Mandor's catching some strays.
Poor
over here.
Mandor.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
Yes, cracked open again.
It's cracked open. Although, again, first team offensive line did well the other night.
Well, I do think that obviously you hope some of the bad stuff doesn't carry over, so you can't sit there and assume the good stuff will. But I think this team should be able to run the football pretty well, right?
Yeah, they also need to not get nicked up, right? You need to play once you figure out who that offensive line is, and it looks like we know it. I mean, it's pretty big. Salah saying he's taking the lead and he gets first dibs on Friday and Sunday. If that's the 5, you need that to be the 5. I mean, OT depth is a big problem. Brandon Crenshaw Dixon's got to be the guy. They like what he's done with his body. They don't know if he's ready. Who the interior extra guy, is Andre James the interior guy or Slater the first interior guy? He's been snapping more. Not always great. A lot to sort out there still.
More coming up next with Paul Kuharsky from paulkuharsky.com. Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Taking your thoughts at 615-737-1025. Your questions for PK. Welcomed on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Ed asking, Bedingfield also mentioning Carnell Tate not getting separation from press man coverage. Do you see a lot of that in practice? Is that a concern with Tate at this point?
I don't have any concerns about Tate at this point. I think he's on a good learning growth curve. First game out there, you like to get him a catch. They didn't. No big
deal. So with Seattle right now, because I just have not been paying attention because
you're very, very busy. Man.
I just generally don't pay attention to the NFL. I mean, the top headline, I think. What was the top headline the other day? Was like, Jamal Adams season-ending injury, or like the top headline. I'm like, dude, this guy has not been a player who matters to an NFL team in like several years.
If we had a pool before and you picked me a guy most likely to have a season-ending injury, if I knew Jamal Adams was in the league, I would have picked him.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's like, oh, he's still in the league. Huge news. He's out. I mean, I feel bad for him, but he's not. Anyway, so my point is, Seattle, we're going to get we get the full slate here, the full deck of cards.
I don't know.
How are they looking?
I don't know yet. I can't imagine that the Super Bowl champs are particularly worried about getting their frontline guys a lot of time.
But the joint practice should be.
Will be better than
Friday
the game.
Will be popping.
I would expect the Titans have a chance to, affect national perception a little bit Sunday on national TV. Now, I don't know that they care about that, but it would be convenient.
It would definitely be convenient. It'd be a nice change of pace around here. That'd be good to see on that front. What did you see from Femi? He played decent amount in that first game, made a couple of TFLs. I guess overall, has anything in particular stood out to you with him in camp so far? And what do you think when game one comes around, that's going to look like for him in terms of how involved he is out there?
He had some good snaps. I think people made probably too big of a deal about it. And so, I wouldn't get carried away. It's a good progress for him. And, you'd like to see him grow from that. I still think, I'm expecting him to be more of a run guy than a pass rush guy. He's not going to be a starter, I wouldn't think, with the guys they have ahead of him, though Jacob Martin is out right now with a knee, and we don't know how serious that is. So that could change the shape of things. We're starting to get into the stage where some of those injuries are, becoming more hazy, and we don't know as much.
Yeah, Jacob Martin hurt. Jalen Harrell. Jalen Harrell was a guy who, at least decent, a depth guy, though, right?
He's a borderline roster guy to me. That helps. Somebody like Femi helps. Helps some of the other back end guys.
Gets more snaps, right?
Yeah, I don't know that Harrell was necessarily going to make the roster or get snaps. He's going to continue to develop. I think he would have been on the practice squad at least. But if you're picking two guys to lose, Harrell and Kanek aren't, I don't want to be insensitive, but they're not terrible guys to go.
You're glad they're hurt? Nice.
Yeah.
Headline.
As I said.
We'll tweet that out. Tweet that out, Ian. So I forgot my question after that. The linebackers right now. I don't hear a lot of talk about the linebackers. I still have my questions at times about Cody Barton. He's a veteran. But sometimes I'm not sure about him. What about the rookie? What are you seeing from him? How's he coming on?
Anthony Hill.
Yes, Anthony Hill. Thank you.
Yeah, Junior. I haven't seen a lot from Anthony Hill. And there's still time, but I suspect that he, may take a while. Now, whether that's weeks into the season or more a Cedric Gray timetable. Now, Cedric Gray was hurt during his rookie year. I think they may roll through those linebackers a little bit. I think that there is a scenario where Cedric Gray even is off the field in some passing situations. Very good, obviously, against the run. But in space, look, and Nick Suss talks about this all the time. Finding linebackers who can play in space is a real mission in the NFL. And what you want to do is condense the space, only have them covering, 7 yards worth of space before DBs arrive. And who are the best Titans at that? I mean, James Williams is looking pretty good.
He's fast
right now, pretty fast. And he came up as a safety, so he's got some of those things. He lost all that weight, about 20 pounds, down to 230.
So he looks like a safety again.
Yeah, I mean, right now, I'd like to see him on the field in passing downs. Barton's still going to be iffy on that. But if you're picking 2 linebackers to have on the field and passing downs, I'm not sure who they are right now. And I thought I would be sure.
Well, I look at this defense, and I think probably maybe the best area that they ought to be improved in this year is against the run. Like they're just from a stylistic standpoint and some of the body types they've got in there. Like I think they ought to be pretty good against the run this year. I was reading Drew Beatty's write-up at paulkuharsky.com. Sounds like he was pretty impressed with Falk and what he showed in the first preseason game, both from a run standpoint, but also from a pass rushing standpoint. But like the run defense ought to be a strength this year. And look, that's not, it's not the top of the list of why the Titans have been as bad as they've been over the last few years. And I think they were a little bit better last year. They gave up 114.6 a game, which was, right around middle. But a couple years ago, they were atrocious against the run, and that's something that I think this defense should be a lot better.
Yeah, to do what they want to do also with the pass rush. And we've talked so much that we're almost giving it to them for granted that they're going to be a better pass rush team. But to be that better pass rush team, they need to stop the run. And they need to stop the run a lot and this is where it gets a little bit complicated, because I don't think you're putting – quote unquote second wave guys out there for the opening snaps of a game. But once a series gets going, you want Simmons and Jermaine Johnson and JFM to be on the field a lot more for third down than they are for first and second down. You want Solomon Thomas and Femi and guys like that to be handling the rundowns, which they're very capable of. Those other guys are very capable of it too, but they're insistent on this wave, and you not playing more than 4 snaps in a row, 3 or 4 snaps in a row. You got to cycle those reps. And Saleh talked about this early, in a way where it times up that your best pass rushers are on the field for the most obvious passing downs. And you can miss that sometimes based on conversions that are not necessarily, they're in your control, but they're not in your control.
We got another headline. Paul Kuharsky says Jeff Simmons should come off the bench for the Tennessee Titans. I like it. No,
productive show so far.
Yeah.
We have had some good stuff.
No, I
got to put this out in podcast.
I hear what you're saying, but I do do you think that, I just feel like you want those 2 guys out there to make sure you're in 3rd and 9 too, though,
Yeah,
obviously
it gets complex.
Yeah.
How do they map it? How do they map it? And then how do you stick to your map? It's kind of like first 15 script on offense, right? You really want to do certain things, but as soon as you take a sack and it's 3rd and 17, what do you put the script away and you do other stuff.
Yeah. YouTube chat, we're going through different awards, and someone, because of your affinity for weed, what about the Tennessee Hemp Growing Society Sports Show of the Year?
And as Jude is pointing down the YouTube chat, PK can put on his cap and gown to present the award to us. There you go, guys. Congratulations.
You guys have finally graduated into an award-winning show.
Cheech and Chong's.
I could get the Curb Center at a reasonable price.
Presented by White Castle.
I could get the Curb Center at a reasonable price, but there are a lot of smaller facilities at Belmont that might suit us far, far better. Don't you think?
I could
get a classroom.
Welcome into Kuharsky's classroom, where this award ceremony will take place.
2 small classes of like 10. I think I could get one of those rooms pretty easy.
Can we do a live remote during your class?
During my class?
Do you have any morning classes?
That actually would be fun, except the sports writing class is 5 to 6:15. So you want to boot some people off? Those guys like an hour off early? Will they go till 6?
Yeah, we might have to do some negotiating.
Step aside, DVD.
We got a little afternoon show we got to take care of.
I think that would be great, and that would be a trade-off. They had Blake on recently.
Yeah.
So, and they have Herndon. I think they've had Beatty. So, I go on there once in a while and say, hey, in exchange for all our guest appearances, we'll take
Remote
an hour of your
broadcast.
time.
That's right.
But Joe will be like, no, I got to make a call to the coach at South Idaho State. I'm working on a big piece that nobody's going to see.
How did you know about that?
615-737-1025. Lots more to get to with PK coming up next. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Final hour, Robby and Rexrode, live from our Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership where the buzz is always about great service. Robby Stanley, Joe Rexrode, Ian Safar, Paul Kuharsky from paulkuharsky.com with us on the program. PK, David in Franklin bringing this up. It's funny David brings this up because we were just about to talk about this. You should mention PK's 30 years of covering the Titans article on his site. It's incredible. This from David on the text line.
It's incredibly long, I'll tell you that.
Don't you write long stories at The Athletic? Isn't that like the foundation of The Athletic?
I mean, sometimes.
Yeah. So shut your pie hole. Yeah, look, today is 30 years to the day that I moved to Houston, Texas, and began covering this franchise. Many would say that's too long. But I've taken the occasion to write kind of a big reminiscence about how the Oilers/Titans has changed and how it's changed me. And that's for everybody to read. It's not behind anything. Tomorrow, I'll have a follow-up with the 10 biggest things I've learned from that time covering. It's a nice round number. So I'm into camp 31. It's camp 32 if you count my my one camp with the Raiders. I had a lot of fun remembering a lot of things. I'm not a great rememberer. So I spent a lot of time on this over the summer waiting for this day. It's funny because I keep thinking the day was November 19th because I moved to Washington, D.C., my first big move away from home after college in November. And somehow that month leaves a bigger mark on me than August. But the lead is about Floyd Reese witnessing a terribly embarrassing incident for me. Probably 90 minutes after I initially met him. So I think you'll get a kick out of that, whether you like me or not.
And I did. I don't want to spoil. It's really good. There's a lot of great stuff in there. But just quick spoiler alert when he says how it changed him. Yes, he used to be like a disco dancing sexy man with a leisure suit and a big wavy hair. And then he started covering the NFL.
The hair's been really big. I don't have a lot of old pictures. I do this thing. You guys have probably done it. Like somebody connected to my mom wanted a picture of me at work for something he was doing. And I had a picture of me talking to Steve Jackson probably in like 98. And like, did I ever get that back? No. Would I like to have it? Yes. I've got a CD of my dad that I really wanted burned, and I gave it to a nephew who's good at stuff like that, and I've never seen the CD again. Lost to the wind. So don't share stuff with people is my big lesson on that.
You know what? I need a top 10 list of like the top 10 from Kuharsky's perspective, best confrontations that he's had in 30 years.
Or maybe a top 30.
Well,
I mean, it's a long list, but it is 30.
How can I manipulate this 30 thing into shorter lists? I like here the top 15 because I can't go 30.
Yeah, top 30 would be aggressive. But,
top 30.
I agree.
Top 30 most influential people in 30 years. That's an incredibly long list. Who's not going to be on that?
Right, like everybody you met. Yeah, but no, I would like because there's a lot of stories in here, and obviously I always get triggered by when you start talking about the access change, from back then, which has nothing to do with winning football games.
Spoiler alert.
It just, Well, I'm sorry. I don't want to, but that's one thing that's obviously changed a ton. It used to be a lot more informal, hang out, chat, people, you could get people, and now it's it's much colder. And again, that's
we did it to
for
ourselves
fans.
To a degree. And, but there's a happier medium than the one that the league and the teams have settled on. Somebody out there, I won't name them, like I was talking to one of the former Jets in a private thing that I had set up, and somebody wanted to tag in, and they said, you can ask him about the Jets? And he said, yeah, of course. And I said, no, you can't do that. I need to prep him for that. Come on.
Okay.
Come on.
Never be able to answer that question. Yeah.
K-Dad, by the way, congrats you in the YouTube chat. And he says, I'm going to smoke one for you after work. So there you go. Smoke them if you got them.
It's not the way I'd celebrate, but read it while you smoke it. That would be my request.
Good. Congratulations on 30 years, PK. That's a heck of an accomplishment.
Will there be cake? I don't know. It depends if I go buy cake.
What kind would you buy?
I could go to Nothing Bundt Cakes and get virtually anything.
Free ad.
Yeah.
I need an acknowledgement from Saleh. I need an acknowledgement from somebody in the Titans organization. That's my challenge.
That is a good point.
That would be
That is a good point. Teresa has retired.
Yeah.
I know that our
She's
buddy
still
John
out.
Glennon showed up, and there was some. I think it's time for a
John
little.
Glennon, who's fighting cancer.
Well,
God,
yes,
I know.
yes,
It's a
of
little
course.
bit different.
Yes, but 30 years. 30 years is 30 years.
Let the
man.
record show I would prefer the acknowledgement for Glennon. So there's that.
Yes. Oh, I would too. I'm
We
just
should
saying that
acknowledge Glennon every day. He doesn't listen to Sports Talk Radio, but we wish him
Except
well
us.
nonetheless. But that's a stain on his reputation that he doesn't listen to good Sports Talk Radio.
I mean, I've heard him every once in a while make fun of stuff that you said on Sports Talk.
Well,
Radio, so
we've
he
had him
listens a
on
little
too
bit
in the
to Sports
past,
Talk
and
Radio.
he's he comes in with like a ream of notes. He's like Mark Howard-esque. He's got item 0 and then several pages.
I mean, now that brings up
Always
another
prepared.
top 10 list, top 10 press conference moments in your history of covering the Titans. Trey Avery's got to be on the list, right?
10 for 30 instead of 30 for
Yeah.
30. I do 10 for 30.
You can act like a man. I mean, that was a great one, right?
Hey, Mike, Trey Avery. Let's get some thoughts.
Right in the middle of Vrabel having
I hate
one of his
losing.
biggest. I hate losing, Gentry. I mean, that's just what it's all about.
Excuse me, Trey Avery, though.
Yeah. What about the fifth string quarterback, Trey Avery?
See?
We love you, Johnny.
It's got to be on the list.
I mean, over
I hope you're right
30
about him not listening. I love you, Johnny.
Over 30 years, busting on Johnny is something that I have become very good at.
I will say I was at the Predators game one time, and he was there covering the game.
Johnny?
And he looked at me one time. He's like, hey,
Johnny or Saleh?
Johnny. He's like, yeah, you guys ever going to stop bringing up the Trey everything? I was like, no. No, we are not.
You can't ask.
It will
If you
not happen.
ask, all it does is make it exponentially worse. He's got to know that.
Not only do we bring it up, I go back and watch it from time to time. It's a beautiful sight.
I mean, if I ever told the story, one of the first times we were out, it might have been the first time we were out. And I think it was, we were walking down 2nd Avenue, going like to Buffalo Billiards to drink or whatever. And these two ladies about our age stuck their head out of like a limousine that was going down 2nd Avenue. And we're like, oh, yeah. And they go, kiss each other. like maybe they had like one of
hey,
those
ladies.
bachelorette checklists or something. And they're like, yeah, we were riding high there and really came crashing down.
Oh, hey, what's up, ladies? You and Johnny out in the town.
Daniel says PK deserves a tribute video for his 30 years. Get the Titans on that.
Tribute video
on the Jumbotron.
Yeah. I think Ian doing a cut up is about as close as I'm coming to anything like that. Thank you to everyone. Read the piece. That's my request.
There you go. Paul Kuharsky, paulkuharsky.com. PK, thank you for being with us today. Enjoy yourself
I'm
at Convocation.
I'm off to Convocate.
I can't believe you're leaving this early. You're telling me
I was here very early.
You think it's
I was
going to
here at
take
7
you
o'clock.
47 minutes to get to Belmont from here?
Well, I
It's
have
gonna
to
take
get
you like
there.
20.
I have to
3 minutes.
find parking. I have to.
You don't have a
to my
faculty
office.
parking spot?
Well, I don't have an assigned spot. I'm entitled to park in a garage that's going to be very full.
Why? Because it's
I've
convocation?
served my time here.
Yes.
I have. Robbie is so good about this, and you're just horrific.
Well, I mean, I was just starting to get into going down.
It took him an hour and 15 minutes to get into the conversation.
No, the
And
30
I'll note-
years. We're just starting to talk about the 30 years,
I'll
and now,
note-
you know.
I'll note that I have the flu,
Wait,
and I was here at 7.
before you go,
Self-injected the flu.
you have not weighed in on our disagreement over the semantics of game manager and playmaker.
I thought your conversation was pretty good. I think game manager is too frequently an insult. I think you pointed out that some very good game managers are not tabbed game managers. I think Robbie was saying that. Another point for Robbie.
I think I was saying that.
You were not saying that. I was saying that. I'm
Yeah,
saying
I
nobody
think you're-
refers to Stafford and Brady
confused.
as a game manager.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
well,
Now, Brady
PK
had
just said
times
it
where,
wrong.
when Moss was on his team, he wasn't a game manager, but he had a lot of bad receivers over the years where he was growing guys into doing what they could, which was not spectacular downfield.
He was managing a game
play.
at the highest level.
Yeah, which
Right.
is spectacular.
Which makes you a game manager, but sure, keep going. Okay. So you're wrong too? Cool.
You asked,
We've established that.
I answered. I was spectacular today, despite my illness, and you're both welcome.
Thank you,
Don't
PK.
block the box. Be sure to lock your locks. Do not block the box anywhere between here and Belmont. Thank you.
We'll see you next week. We'll take your reaction to what PK had to say. 615-737-1025. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Keep up with training camp with 102.5 The Game for the latest updates, player interviews, and more as you get prepped for the upcoming football season. Coverage of training camp presented by Tennessee Brew Works, Parman Energy, and the Music City kickoff game. Appreciate PK for being with us the last hour to 15 minutes. Wasn't quite long enough for Joe, but
yeah, I mean, what always leave you wanting a little bit more, but got to go be Professor Paul. So I guess that's fine. I mean, I was just about to start talking extensively about his 30 years. It's a good piece. It's interesting. A lot of good stuff in there. Someone asked about his top 10 colors he's taken to the woodshed, so we'll have to. A
lot of top 10 lists you could do out of this thing.
Yeah,
I know he loves those.
Top something. Yeah, he's a big
list guy.
Big listicle guy.
Yep.
But yeah, I think his. I think the camp. I mean, it's about where I am, and I think it's the right place to be. On Cam Ward, which is at times it gets, like everybody I think gets impatient a little bit with. Okay, well, here's some good stuff. Maybe it feels like it's trending that way. Then you have a really bad outing. I do think that the national media is reacting to that some this week to Cam Ward. I think a lot of the preseason national coverage is basically. Obviously, most of these games are just worthless, but it's just like, okay, what newcomers did we notice? And then what people, especially quarterbacks that we're not sure yet, that we're trying to find out about, how did they play? How did they look? And he looked bad. And so I actually do think whatever it matters, whatever it's worth, Sunday is definitely, if you're worried about the national conversation, then Sunday's going to, if it's bad again, that will pile on. And then also, I mean, around here, even with people who are watching them on a daily basis, you can't just ignore that. It's an important night, I think.
Well, beyond the national narrative part of it, which I don't care a whole lot about, I need to see Cam Ward in games rise to the occasion and play well, as there's some sort of weird noise that's being made right now. Need to see him rise to the occasion and play well. And look, practice this time of year. We've talked about training camp practice before. It is what it is. I understand that. It's a necessary evil. But there's just a limitation as to how much I think it means, how much I care about it. And if you can't take good performances in practice and put them over into the game, it doesn't matter. I think everybody, I think for him, it's important to come out on Sunday and to play well in the game and to be accurate with the ball and to get out there and move the ball and make some plays and not be getting to the end of the night. I'm not saying it's got to be perfect, but not get to the end of the night on Sunday and for a talking point coming in here Monday morning and when we do the show to be, boy, Cam Ward was spraying the ball all over the place again. He had Tate wide open on the sideline. He threw it in the third row. You need the sped up thing. I hear what Salah's saying there. Honestly, I don't know how much I have patience for that. It's not like he's a rookie. He's played 17 games in the NFL and regular season games. You really shouldn't be that sped up in a preseason game. So but you need to see that. You need to see that improve on Sunday.
But I don't think being sped up is an excuse. I think it's a symptom. I mean, you know what I mean? That's some quarterbacks can't. I mean, it's not the main concern with him to me. I think it's still just the accuracy, decision making. But that is a thing that some people can't get over. And then, then you just can't play. You can't play at a high enough level. I guess if it's like what PK was saying, is it like a PTSD thing? And if these guys do play better and they are better, do you notice that and it calms you down? You hope so. Now, it has to be. I mean, that has to happen. I mean, I don't dismiss it as a reason. Again, to me, though, it's just some quarterbacks. That's when you talk about quarterbacks getting ruined. That to me is that's the outcome. That's what the impact is, right? Is that you got hit so much that you now can't do the job calmly enough in the pocket. I had never really thought about that with him, but he did take a lot of hits last year.
Somebody's very upset that we're talking about Cam Ward being a bust.
Wow. Using bad words.
He is.
Yeah. So when did we say the word bust? Did we say bust?
Nope.
Yeah. I mean, this is just a troll, so it's not worth much more than because I can tell by the commentary. But yeah, we're not talking about him being a bust. We are talking about him playing poorly in the preseason game. And the freak out was full on Friday, and now you get a few days away, and it's more of a measured conversation, I think, across the board, and it should be. That's fine.
It should be. And as we said Friday on the show, if you listen, look, it's not meaningless information. There's some concern there. And I think the concern with Cam Ward was on last Thursday. He showed some of the concern last year, which is I don't know if he's going to be accurate enough. And that's a big problem as you move forward here. But also one point we made is it is the preseason. At the end of the day, I don't think we're going to be talking much about the preseason game that just happened in San Francisco. As the season goes on, it's going to be what does he do when the games matter, when it counts, how much does he improve between now and the end of the year? Can you get to the point this year where you're feeling really good about the trajectory that he's on? All the conversations that we've had about Ward the entire offseason are still in play now, right? Like every one of them. And that's a wide range of things, by the way. I still think there's a chance that we could get to the end of this year and you could be feeling very good about his trajectory. I think there's a chance you could get to the end of this year and people are legitimately could be talking about drafting another quarterback. Like, I think it's that wide of a range with Cam Ward.
I mean,
now,
to be fair, some people are already, but yeah, that's
I'm talking like
overly
serious
aggressive
conversation, like around the whole place, whole city.
I mean, again, we went into Levis's big year, and it was like it's all on his shoulders. This is your franchise. Take it and run with it. And then before the year was over, it was, well, who's next? I mean, it's not like he was. I mean, that's the thing is even Levis that year, like played okay at times. Like, I mean, even compared to how he looks now, but it was still like, yeah, you're moving on. Different when you get picked number 1 overall, as we've talked about a million times. So no, look, Cam Ward was better in the second half of last year. I think some people overstate that.
Totally over exaggerating how good he was in the second half of last year.
I mean, if you take the numbers and you slice them in half, the numbers were quite a bit better in the second half of the year. But as we went through that, there were a couple definitely good performances, and there were some that were not good. So the overall aggregate of numbers was definitely better than the aggregate, but it wasn't like a weekly, oh my gosh, and then he's better a little bit, and then it wasn't that. And again, it's not supposed to necessarily be linear either.
Right.
But yes, I think you're right. I think people who are in the Cam Do side of things are exaggerating that a little bit.
Here's the thing about this show. We're going to live in reality. We're going to live and react to information that actually happens. If you can't handle that, then we're probably not the show for you. I hate to tell you. We're probably not. Like, if you just want to have sunshine and rainbows blasted your way the whole time about your football team, that's fine. You can do that. But that's not going to be us. We're going to live in reality. And on the flip side of things, I think we're going to be fair. Like, we're not just going to blast people for no reason either. Like, the bottom line is he didn't play very well last Thursday. He needs to play better than that. If you can't see that, if that's something that I guess you're too sensitive to and you can't handle that, well, that's on you. That's not on us. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Also, some people are just trolls.
There's that too. 615-737-1025.
Case here.
Our phone number, 615-737-1025. A lot more to get to on the Titans front. There is an interesting conversation on the college football front that we will get into later in the program as well. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Robby and Rexrode, presented by Green Ventures Landscaping for homes and businesses that want to stand out, not blend in. Visit greenventureslandscaping.com. Nashville Sound's taking on Norfolk. First pitch at 5:35 today. Catch all the action on 94.9 The Fan, presented by Twin Peaks, Family Leisure, and Social Cantina. Taking your thoughts at 615-737-1025. We will get into some college football coming up here in just a second. We appreciate all the nice text messages on the text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. We did have Steven say, you can't say your show is based in reality when a Rexrode says TB12 is a game manager. So that's
whatever. I'm rolling my eyes at you, Steven.
Although I will say, we had Rexrode. The troll used Rex Toad, which I kind of like.
Mm-hmm.
That's good stuff.
Yep. A lot of ways you can go, man. A lot of ways you can go.
A lot of ways you can
it's
go.
Like I had a buddy whose sister would call. Now, this is not using your name, but would call him mostly, but basically anybody, like butt and then add any noun after it, right? What's up, butt lamp? It actually works. Like, it's actually amazing. Like, hey, butt tractor, how you doing? Like, you can just, whatever. Butt pickle. Hey, what's happening? You just put any noun after butt and call someone that, and it's pretty effective.
I can see Ian going to clip stuff now. That'd be good. Good to use in the rants moving forward. Kuharsky did not seem to be overly concerned with the secondary, which I found to be interesting. What did you make of that?
Yeah, he's kind of soft. Maybe stop being such a homer. PK, 30 years, yeah, made you soft, huh? No, I agree. I mean, that is definitely the most, encouraged review of Flott I've heard, which is, he was close. He was on that side of the field when they were catching every pass that was near him and he was targeted. But no,
only 7 of 8.
Yeah. So
but for him, it was actually specifically him 7 for 7 on that.
For him, yeah.
I think
for him, it was 7 for 7. Yeah. So, and this is where, again, it's like, okay, does the game mean more? It does. Does the daily practice, now we're into weeks of watching this stuff, does that matter too? Yes, it does. And to his point, it's like Cam stunk in the game, and then Cam comes out the next day and he lights up. It's Cam, big bounce back, and you're like, gee. So we just watched the secondary suck, and Cam suck, and then Cam do well against that same secondary. Like, how much are they propping him up? But as PK points out, like, the defense has won. Has won days too. So, Flott, there's enough of a track record. It's not like we're talking about some rookie third-round picker like, oh, God, did they screw this up? The guy has played. There are some good underlying numbers on him last year. So it's not freak-out time, but he needs to respond. And I agree with PK. It only goes so far if you're publicly accountable. Like, sometimes people just stink and they can keep saying, hey, by the way, I stink. So, I've taken accountability. It's like, great, but you still stink. But I do think it's better to see someone raise their hand and admit that than like try to make excuses.
We got is there a Ryan O'Reilly on the Titans where it's just like everything that possibly goes wrong?
Oh God,
it's my fault. I did it.
Yeah, who?
Cam, you weren't even out on the field for that. I don't care. My fault.
The problem is they don't have enough good player. It's like it's Simmons, I guess.
Yeah.
Like I'm the worst defensive tackle in the league. Yeah. No,
I don't know how I made the 53-man roster.
Yeah. I did mean to ask BK, but he rushed out of here to go put on his cap and gown. But Amani Hooker is something, that's the whole secondary, and you break it down individually. I would agree that I'm not overly concerned on Alontae Taylor, and I do think I think Kevin Winston has a chance to be a good football player.
Although stop hitting people in practice.
Yeah, especially the prize rookie. But I'm concerned about Hooker, and that would, so that's something to watch too in this game. I think there's only so much excitement you can manufacture for a preseason football game, but there are some guys who need to respond on this team.
Oh, there's some guys that need to respond. There are some guys. I mean, when you look at it's an interesting year from the standpoint of, I feel like there's always like 2 or 3 spots at receiver that we're looking at. Like, yeah, who's going to grab those spots? There's really not that this year. Like, I think one of the big questions is, are they going to keep 6 receivers? Like, what's that going to look like? We talked about that a little bit last week with Kuharsky. I mean, there's a chance that they could go 5. Now, that seems pretty light on the receiver front. We'll see what that looks like there. I would assume, if you force me to guess, that there will be 6, and we'll see who that 6th guy ends up being. You know, I was interested to get PK's thoughts on Carmona, and he kind of said, I think a little bit of what the fear is right now, like how much of this is Carmona seizing the job at right guard? How much of this is like, again, you watch Volson in that preseason game, and it's like, oh boy, didn't go very well. Slater, they've been, I mean, for lack of a better word, like cross-training, right? Like he's played some center, he's been on left guard, he's been a right guard, so they're clearly trying to mold him to be ready to go in one of those interior spots if called upon. But it just tells me that they don't feel good about either one of those guys starting. So all the commentary around Carmona seems to be, he's doing a good job of taking it, which I hope that that's the case. And, he was good in the preseason game, so that's good to see. I hope that continues as he kind of settles in next to J.C. Latham. Because, look, at this point, I know we still got a few weeks here, but it feels like he's won the job, right?
Yeah.
Like it feels like Carmona is the right guard.
And that's why I want to be more encouraged by it than if it was the end of camp and it's like, oh, okay, here you go, try him. Of course, you can still get this job and be in his position more because the other guys are so bad. That's possible. But yeah, I think there's definitely some talent there and some reason to be encouraged. And if PK, who's also quite sunshiny when it comes to J.C. Latham, if he's right on that, then I can look at this offensive line and see if you're a running back, you might be excited to run behind this offensive line. It looks pretty physical and athletic. And Latham, when he can move his feet, you saw it on a couple plays the other night. That's why he went where he did. Like the guy he's not just some big dude, at the position because this league has to fill out their rosters with offensive linemen. Like he does have talent.
I mean, if Latham's really good this year, because we kind of talked all over the possibilities of things going the other way. If he's really good this year, like can this offensive line as a whole, I know you still don't love your left tackle situation, but like if Latham's really good, if you've got a left guard that you feel pretty good about, I think we know kind of what Schlottman is, which is like an okay center. He's not going to kill you out there.
He's a Band-Aid for this year.
Right. So
maybe a couple of years.
But, Carmona, we'll see. He's a rookie, but they're encouraged by him so far. But, like, to me, like, if Latham turns out to be a really good player this year, well, I'm not saying your offensive line is perfect, but that does a lot for your football team. And just him individually, if he's really, really good.
Yeah.
And again, I'm encouraged by what PK said. I'm encouraged by what we saw in the preseason game. I need to see him do it for an extended period of time once we get to the regular season. So we're still a ways away, I think, from knowing that yet, but I would rather be having these conversations for sure about J.C. Latham at this point in camp rather than, oh boy, I just don't know. I just don't know out there what that's going to look like.
Yeah. And of course, look, he's going to get beat here and there. You face like the top pass rushers in this league. He's going to be made to look bad this year at times, but you can tell the difference, between a competent tackle and what he's largely been, too much in his career. And the thing is, it would be huge. And still, the Titans would be needing to probably go high draft next year for a left tackle, and also figuring out
surprise people, man.
Well, maybe that'd be great too. I feel like no one ever talks about him because it's just like
I know he's like the most under-discussed left tackle I think I've ever seen.
I guess I take that as just because you know what he is, but maybe he's better than we're giving him credit for.
Because they've either signed someone or like traded someone away, and you immediately were just so disgusted. Like, I mean, the AJ Brown thing, obviously, you were just disgusted by it. And I think it was like, I want to say it was on the air when we found out that they signed Dan Moore, and you're just like, oh God.
Well, yeah. and this is like grain of salt, but like every Steelers fan who listens to the show, like it was a stream of Steelers fans like, oh good, please take him away from us. My gosh, I'm so glad I never have to watch him block for the Steelers yet, And again, that's like in the proper context of a league where all these other guys who have left here also continue to get jobs. Well, okay, he's not that bad. Right? He's serviceable. Serviceable is fine. But yes, you're going to have to find, even if Latham turns out, you're going to have to find that left tackle, and you're going to have to find that long-term center. And maybe with center, you can, maybe that can be addressed in free agency. Maybe Sloatman will be fine for a while.
I also feel like center, though, like of the positions out there that are difficult to find, I don't think that one's. I mean, I'm not saying it's easy, but
It's
like you can find
it's not good tackle.
Pretty decent center in like the 4th round, right? Like you can do that.
Yes, you can. And you can go out and sign a Ben Jones, and it can be a heck of a thing for your franchise. I do think, by the way, you talk about getting some in the 4th round. It's early, but I think so far, like Coogan is like, remember, he was a 7th round pick for a reason. So some of the early excitement there, like, don't get too excited. We'll see.
Let's head to our phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Welcome in Adam in Portland to the program. Adam, good morning. Thank you for calling in.
Hey, Robbie, man. Who do you think is better, Dan Moore or Dennis Kelly?
That's a good question. Probably.
Well, the fact that you even have to sit there and think about it's a problem, right? Like a utility tackle that we got for a trade and a bum receiver.
Yes, but like Dennis
awesome
Kelly
here.
played
had
some good moments for him.
I like Kelly a lot, man. But the fact that our left tackle is not better than him is crazy. So yeah, we gotta it doesn't matter how this season goes. I think that has to be the pick. If we win a Super Bowl, I still think we need a new left tackle. So I don't know, dude.
Yeah, thanks, Adam. Appreciate it. Well, first off, when he first said that, I thought he said Dennis Daly. I was like, Dan Moore for sure. Then I was like, oh, Dennis Kelly. Yeah, okay. I mean, Dennis Kelly, in all seriousness, I mean, we talked about this, I think, last week or the week before, but of the John Robinson moves that are probably underrated, that one worked out pretty well for the Titans.
Yeah, huge. I mean, and that's the thing. Right? Like you think back to that, Lawan at his level, Conklin all pro. I mean, like really good right away. And you have that guy as your swing tackle.
I mean, Dan Moore.
Like that had to be like how many 3-tackle situations in the NFL at that time were better? I mean, maybe none.
Yeah, not a lot.
And again, that's a team that was terrible up front the year before.
Right.
So it can happen quickly.
Dan Moore certainly making more money than Dennis Kelly made, significantly.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. I mean, Dan Moore you signed him to be your starting left tackle. So, and again, it's in the context of what was available and what you had as options. I can't sit here and say that was a terrible move right now. I probably feel better about it now. As much fun as we've made of him, like I feel better right now than I did at the time. Right.
Sure.
But it shows you the challenge. It again shows you that you have to find one at the top of the draft and you have to be right. And they've tried and they've been wrong. And you just better hope that Borgonzi is good at that and gets it done.
We'll get into some college football coming up next. Take your thoughts, 615-737-1025. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Hey, Robby Stanley here. It's almost fantasy football time. Drafts happening around the corner here over the next couple of weeks. Twin Peaks, your place to be for your fantasy football draft party. The draft party package gives league commissioners and its members an elevated, easy experience, along with scenic views, made from scratch food, and the coldest beer in the game. Each in-lodge package includes a draft board, player stickers, a $50 bonus commissioner bounce back card, and more. So call to book your draft party today at the Twin Peaks Madison location. Visit twinpeaksrestaurant.com/fantasy draft for more information. Hang out with us on Friday, August the 28th at T-Line in Bellevue for the Game birthday party as we celebrate 102.5 The Game's 15th anniversary. Our presents are going to you, the listeners, as we will have hourly ticket giveaways starting at 6 a.m., Preds tickets, Vandy tickets, concert tickets, and more coming up at T-Line on Friday, August 28th. For more information, visit thegamenashville.com/birthday. So looking forward to that coming up next week. Taking your thoughts at 615-737-1025.
I know we're going to talk college football. I just want to quickly announce this. University of Michigan has announced this. Michigan Athletics today announced the Leaders and Best Champion Partners Program, a carefully developed initiative that will bring select advertising opportunities inside Michigan Stadium. The program reflects a strategic approach to supporting student athletes amid the rapidly evolving college athletics landscape while preserving the tradition, character, and unmatched game day experience of the iconic 99-year-old venue. Tasteful Hooters ads inside Michigan Stadium. Yeah.
It's the Big House, brought to you by General Motors. There we go.
There we go. Yeah, yes, it'll be different there. I hope you're listening, Matthew from Jolton. It
Yes.
won't be just ads in the stadium. It'll be tasteful Michigan man ads. Jim Harbaugh likes Old English after he shaves.
Some khakis.
Oh, yeah, we go.
I could really lean into that. A friend of the show, Chris Vanini, came out with his college football coaching tiers list. There are only 2 coaches, Joe, in tier 1, which is he dubs the standard of coaches in college football. Kurt Cignetti, Kirby Smart. That's it when it comes to tier 1. So first off, let me say this. I kind of like the exclusivity of Vanini's list here. Like you gotta be really at the top if you're going to make it into his tier 1, but he's only got 2 in there. What say you to that? Cignetti and Smart, the only 2 make it in Vanini's tier 1 list.
Well, I think both of them, whatever tier 1 is, I definitely agree with both of them being in it for sure, right? I'm just like Kurt Cignetti should just be considered the best coach. Like right now, he should be considered the best coach in college football. What he's done, I still don't think it. Like I've wrapped my mind around how incredible it is. So that's one. And Kirby Smart for sure. He should be in tier 1. The question is there anyone who got hosed here? You know, the tier 2, now he labels these, right? Yep. So tier 1 is the standard. Okay. And again, I agree with both of them being here. Tier 2 is established winners. So, I mean, it makes sense if you go through all this. I think one case some might make, because he has won it, and he's won it more than once, would be Dabo. Now, we know his program has not reacted well to this era, right?
Correct.
Is he less of a coach because of that? I mean, when it comes down to it, you're judged as a coach on everything, including, like, you have to go get talent. So, I mean, like, I don't have a problem with that. But I think that he would be a guy, though, that you could make a case for still just because of his achievement. And, you know, beyond that, like, you look at tier 2, and it's a bunch of guys who are still trying. I mean, Ryan Day. Is Ryan Day, does he deserve tier 1? He's won a national championship 2 years ago. I know, especially in light of
we're going to have Senior Day on July the 4th.
Senior Day picnic. Oh, boy. Yeah. But, like, you could make a case for him. Like, I feel like Marcus Freeman could be there someday, but you got to do it. Lane Kiffin, go win that natty, Lane. I mean, I think Dan Lanning from Oregon is someone that you look at and say, really good coach. Yep. Really impressive. I mean, yes, he took over a strong program, but very impressive. Okay. But
got to win in the playoffs.
Finish the job.
Yep.
Sark, finish the job, you know? I mean, at this point, honestly, he's got Keelan DeBoer in the second tier. I might argue with what he's done so far that you bump him down to the third tier, which is, quote, consistency with upside. That tier, by the way, includes both Josh Heupel and Clark Lee.
Correct. It includes a lot of people in that tier, but Heupel and Lee in that tier, Lincoln Riley, who I guess at one point was in tier 1.
Was he?
Like a while ago. But yeah, he's just continuing to go down. I am so fascinated to see what they are this year. Like, I have no idea
USC
what they are. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I mean, they got a good quarterback.
Yeah. Jaden Maev is very good. Some people think he's a Heisman candidate. I think he's got to take it to another level. And again, that's what Lincoln Riley's supposed to be. And what Lincoln Riley has been, there's no question Lincoln Riley as a quarterback guy has been amazing, but very disappointing at USC. A lot of people, I think there's also people kind of going different ways in here. Like I look at even like a Bielema, we know what he is, and he's done a nice job, and my God, he's funny, and I hope he coaches forever because he's great for the game. But yeah, like he's fine. He's a good coach. I don't know if like some of these are ascending coaches. Clark Lee is certainly a guy who was tier 7 last year, by the way, and has moved up 4 tiers, on the strength of the 10-2 season. Like Rhett Lashley, some of these younger guys, Bob Chesney at UCLA, that's going to be fascinating. Matt Campbell at Penn State is going to be fascinating. I mean, we got Rich Rod in here, like Rich Rod. I mean, I understand like they meet in a tier, but Rich Rod to me is a guy at the end of his career, right?
I would assume so.
Rich Rod would have been considered a tier 1 guy leaving West Virginia when Bama tried to hire him, when Michigan did hire him. And I'd say tier 3 is kind of kind for him right now.
Shane Beamer in tier 4, which is usually solid. I think probably belongs in tier 5, which would be up and down, which also includes the likes of Butch Jones in tier 5.
Mm-hmm. Pat Fitzgerald.
Scott Frost.
Yeah. Oh, boy. This is, Narduzzi being disrespected.
Dion is in tier 5 as well, up and down.
Come on, Vanini. You covered Narduzzi in college. You got, that's a little disrespect. I will, in all seriousness, Narduzzi. So there's an example of he has not set the world on fire at Pitt. They've been a consistent like 7-8 win team for a long time since he's been there. Been there about 10 years. I'm just telling you, that job, you play in that pro stadium, that is a pro town. I mean, I've been there for like Tennessee played there. I'm like, so are there no Pitt fans? Like, this is a huge game between ranked teams, and it's like 50% Tennessee fans in here.
Yeah.
It is a hard job. And sometimes I think coaches, like, again, Clark Lee is tier 7 last year. I'm not saying he should have been higher, but he was at Vanderbilt. It's a very hard job. Probably a better coach at that. I think there are some coaches who are better coaches than their results show because they're just at places that are hard to win.
By the way, this list goes all the way down to tier 8, which the final tier is little to nothing positive, and Derek Mason is in that one.
D Mason,
TSU coach.
D Mason tier 8. Yeah, it's a big year, so it's not.
Big year.
It's not. Boy, that is a. So that's a Jeff Choate, Joe Harris-Miak, which I may have messed that up. Phil Longo, Derek Mason, Del McGee, Tony Sanchez, Jay Sawvell. Some hard names to pronounce in here, and also. Yeah, that's tough. It's a huge year for him.
No doubt.
Year 3.
That is going to do it for us today here on the program. Hope everybody has an outstanding rest of their day today. We'll be back 6 a.m. tomorrow. Next Man Up with Jake Lyman coming up next. You're listening to 102.5 The Game.